Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, apparently OBS reconnected, even though it reconnected a little bit ago. Anyways, Slash did mention, be careful. The stuff can be, collected. She did mention, the woman that you guys illegally purchased down here is, there, terrified and afraid.
I think me and Orc will go to her eventually.
And the guards are outside waiting, so, that is an issue.
Well, do we even have anything to discuss prior to picking up the equipment?
I don't think so. Gothos
No,
was just having tea.
Yeah. I was just minding my own business, trying to stimulate the economy. Now we got all these guards here.
Well, I know you don't like the idea of me casting it, Brack, but perhaps I should cast a telepathic bond anyway when I head out, just so that at least you guys can all keep track of what's happening with me.
It's fine.
Yeah, if anything, we can just play it off as we got to keep better. I got to keep better track of our entourage now. Make sure they don't do anything stupid, right? We could play that off.
Yeah, it's probably wise to stop doing shit.
I can always cancel it early.
True.
All right, so about 10 minutes before I'm gonna try and make arrangements to head over at the scheduled time to pick up the equipment. I'll go ahead and start casting Rory's telepathic bond on the group.
Yeah.
Minus Kobo, since he's got a range.
Slash does state, as long as it's not an offensive spell or targeted towards a drow of the city, we should be fine. Presumably, at the very least, so long as we're not considered a threat. And most of the time, outsiders really are not. They're considered inferior.
Fair, yeah.
Well, and I fully plan to make sure that I understand that position.
Oh, this is just pathetic, man magic. Don't worry, priestesses. Don't worry.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people down here consider it to be pathetic regardless. Only the priestesses of Loth truly have a good amount of power down here.
You lean into the whole, we're small and weak thing. He says, wearing a dragon jawbone as.
Okay. Minutes before you head out, you begin to cast a spell on everyone that's currently here. Those charged with, accompanying you can accompany you, or you can all go together. It's not like you won't have guards to walk with you, or guards to watch over you.
In this case, I'm specifically planning to go by myself.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Gothos had something planned, but, that's cool.
No, we discussed it when you were away.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't think I had anything. If I had something planned last week, I sure did forget about it.
You sure did forget about getting a collar, a fake one, but, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Fake slave collar.
In game, technically, it would have only been like a couple hours ago, so yeah, I don't mind telling you.
That. It's once he has the brain link up, I'll say to Boom, if he can get the blacksmith. Well, you can get that blacksmith to make like one of these slave collars that doesn't quite work. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. An old one, perhaps a second-hand thing.
Yeah, I'll take a look into that, see what I can find out.
Right, good stuff.
All right, and did you still need any sort of tobacco or anything?
Yeah, it was a good idea, I thought. I don't know. Bugs hate smoke.
Boom, don't get tobacco or else you won't be back for 5 years.
At least he's not getting milk.
That's true, or else you'll be gone forever.
Is tobacco actually frowned upon in the Underdark?
It's
just a joke about bad dads.
Okay.
Bad dad.
Parents.
Going out for a pack of smokes. 7 years later.
Dad jokes.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. You head out. 2 guards immediately are stationed towards you.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna walk over to them immediately.
They don't even like respond towards you. Like when you first head out, like the female guard that was speaking with you beforehand, like points at 2 guards and they begin to like flank you, like not stopping you, just walking with you.
Okay, all right.
Clearly for your protection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
when
many
you like
guards
walk
does,
past her, she does state, "For your protection, of course. We wouldn't want any more mishaps down here."
Understood. I would not dream of it.
And she looks towards the 2 guards currently flanking you. Keep watch over him and, like a hawk, make sure he is okay. Yes, ma'am, of course. These 2 guards that you're stationed with are male.
how many guards
read-
does this female have at her disposal?
Platoon, I'm going to be perfectly honest.
So that's
Sounds
like
to
20 guys, 50, 12? Okay.
15, 20, up to 20.
Oh shit, that is more than enough for all of us.
Like right now, only
Yeah,
10 are
that's-
stationed alongside you.
Oh.
We were just
All right.
obviously thinking about this strategy where you could peel off enough guards that they wouldn't have enough surveillance on us. But
Well, now there's
20
only
is
8,
plenty.
so you're 2 down.
Yeah, so there's still only 4 more of us. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're all just gonna split the party, so
yeah, what could go wrong?
so one person can just run free.
Boom, you begin to head over towards the blacksmith. Thought it was an issue.
Actually, before I do, I'm going to ask the woman. Pardon me, am I permitted to ask these individuals for assistance locating shops for a couple of other errands? I don't want to risk interfering.
Persuasion. No disadvantage, because so far you haven't acted out a term.
Yeah. And I do clarify that, I, don't want to put them in, put anybody in a position that's ill-advised. I guess for lack of a better term, persuasion. There we go. Not especially great. Oh, nope. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah. She does state, you may ask, but that's not necessarily stating that they will provide the answer to you, but they will accompany you on your errands.
Okay, thank
The
you
only
ever so
solution is
much.
bribery.
I am not even going to try that. All right.
I mean, that could
Driving
probably
a
work on the
horrendous
male
issue.
guards versus
Yeah.
the female guards. It already depends. Not that you know that. But she did state that
All
you could
right.
ask, but that's not necessarily you get an entitled answer.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to hold off before trying to get any favors out of them. I want to kind of establish me being on my best behavior first. So in that case, I'll kind of.
Hey.
you know,
It's like either you guys got a cousin that runs a tobacco shop. No.
I'll start by going to the blacksmith, just making sure that they're ready and expecting me to move before taking my first step.
Yeah. Immediately, like a platoon walking together, as if trained all together in life, you make your strides in the exact same pace. Soon enough, you arrived in the blacksmith. The same guy, because why would you go to another one? That'd be kind of weird since you're picking stuff up here. You enter inside, and the man welcomes you with a verbose rubato once again. Welcome, stranger, once again. Oh, what happened to your little friend? I see. Your female god friend found some entertainment for the night? Perhaps.
Apparently, he did not know his place, and he should count himself lucky that that in their good graces they didn't issue a more severe punishment.
Yes, that does happen to outsiders, as well as those in the surface world. No matter then. But welcome! You do have the missive, correct? To acquire your armaments?
I believe so. I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember how we had this whole.
I think Kubo like either gave it to you before heading out or like dropped it somewhere. You could have definitely got it.
Yeah, I do remember something about that. Yeah. All right, so I'll go ahead and hand the paperwork over to the shopkeeper. Here you go.
Yeah, you basically give him the receipt. He checks it over, just in case you forged it, which you didn't. Ah, yes. He comes back out without too much of an issue and like stands before you with the armament. Here we are then. As mentioned beforehand, to specifics, as well as once if you decide to go to the surface world, which I don't know why you would, it will no longer disintegrate over time.
All right, thank you ever so much. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of inspect the armor. I mean, just kind of take in an appraisal. I'm not going to be sitting there and like checking it for flaws or anything. Just trying to get an impression of what do I think of the quality.
Just like covered in spider motifs.
It's
Like,
definitely covered in spider motifs, but it is actually very good. It doesn't show a specific spider like whatsoever. It just has like that vague feeling of a web intermingled with the rest of the plating. It's very stylized for, down here, but at the exact same time, it's not an issue if you like worship, I don't know, the goddess of adventurers or something like that.
Supposed to retrofit this crazy dwarven armor, not add any filigree, you buffoon. No.
Well, I have to admit, this is definitely wonderful work. I can see why you come highly recommended.
Of course. Again, if you need anything else, just let me know, and I'll get my buffoon here working with the metal as soon as possible.
That was brain talking.
Yeah. Actually, there is something. We've recently come into the possession of a slave and need some sort of a slave collar. Do you have anything available? I mean, it's kind of short notice, admittedly. But even if there's something that's
We've got a
I'm
whole
glad
showroom.
Surface Workers I finally understood the merits of indentured servitude. He like walks out for a bit, and like comes back with a box of 5 different collars. He like presents them to you, opening the box. Now then, depending on the individual, you have a selected assortment of things you can do. And then like goes over the potential risk factors of, danger to the slave and blah, blah, blah. Down the line, he tells you what each of them does. I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first one, option number 1, deals a burning sensation close to the spell known as heat metal. The second one does something to the extent of hellish rebuke. The third one does the extent of a charm spell. The fourth one does the extent of a psychic lance, which is the deadliest, especially to a normal person. And the fifth one does something akin to power word kill, but not as destructive. If you're not an adventurer,
That's
you
not
probably
the
won't
deadliest
survive.
one.
No, but it's also painless. Like that's mainly what I'm talking about. The others do damage. The other one, you just die, but you feel no pain.
This one's not very popular because it doesn't do any pain when it kills them.
Yeah. He then does state, we can also have a go with the standard indoctrination mind control collar, but I decided to show you a few flavor mints. The mind control one are often for those that aren't broken in yet and not well-to-do individuals.
Sorry, when you said that, what was that referring to? The standard one or these special ones?
The standard one. The standard one basically takes over the mind and like has simple commands people can follow and do. But with simple commands comes no real detailed work or things of that nature. It basically allows you to control the individual, but basically can do very little things with that.
All right.
If you're familiar with 40K, it turns them into a servitor.
Looking over these, do I see any indication that some of them are in better condition than others? Or I mean,
Um,
are these all being sold in good faith, or is there any sort of selling a defective product sort of thing here?
not in this shop. This shop is
Okay.
like high end to middle.
All right.
Because you were with the guard before, and she would not show you something defective unless you asked for it.
Mhm. All right. Well, and I'm feeling really leery about that at the moment. So, well, yeah, as it is, so the slave we've come into possession of is definitely young and certainly nobody I'd consider to be any sort of significant threat. In fact, sounds like most of these more advanced callers would probably just kill the slave rather than actually provide any proper correction. I have to admit that
This
the
is a charm
charm
person,
spell.
though. Yeah. Sorry.
I have to.
So-
What was that?
Sorry, I was interrupting. And
Oh,
you were saying the same thing. My
oh.
bad.
Ah. I have to admit the charm spell one sounds interesting, although given that she's definitely new to this, the standard slave collar would probably be perfectly adequate in this case. How much are the standard ones versus the collar with the charm spell?
Well, the standard ones go around 100 gold, as well as insured. So if your slave does die, you receive half your money back. More than a bargain. The other ones go to around 200 to 500 gold.
Hmm.
500 gold being the power word kill one, as you would only be able to use it once.
Mhm. Yeah, I could definitely see the benefit for with that one. With, shall we say, some of the more powerful help, where yeah, turning I could see being a potentially fatal mistake if you're not ready for it. But yeah, in this case, we're talking about a child who's definitely really new to slavery in general. So
She's 18,
yeah,
okay, yes. Basically a child.
yeah,
I didn't mention
like to
beforehand.
think that we can handle her.
You probably can. He does state, of course, of course. I would probably suggest either the charmed one or the standard one. If she
Yeah.
hasn't been fully broken in, then more than likely what you would need is compassion, and then determination or grit on your behalf. It really all depends if you decide to stay down here. If you do go back to the surface, who knows, they might take her away from you. The surface world is still backwatered from my last encounter.
Oh yes, I've definitely learned the hard way that you have to really be careful about differing ideologies, to put it diplomatically. But of course, with the right effort, it's always possible to work around those problems,
Much too
especially
true.
if one makes sure that people mind their own business. Well, I'm thinking for the time being, I'll probably just get the standard mind control collar. Probably a good idea to familiarize myself with the basics here,
Very
and then
well.
can always come back. We start expanding out our the roster of servants, and this way at least I understand the baseline for this. Because I have to admit these are kind of new to me as well. Typically, there have been far more crude methods that I'm accustomed to when it comes to making people do what they're supposed to.
Of course. As mentioned beforehand, the standard is 100 gold, but insured, so you do get half your money back on potential disposement of your purchase. That being the case, though, you can always reuse the collar if you desire, although I don't know what you would. That being the case, though, it also makes a fine enough gift if presented to a house.
All right, well, I go ahead and pull out 100 gold pieces and place them on the counter.
Yeah. You do so, and he bends down to get a collar that's in a box already set up and propped. Since these are the standard ones made. He brings it out and he like shows you it. He basically tells you how it works. You basically put it on a person and use the command spell word that he tells you and what it is. You can make up your own word if you like. He like zeroes it out so you can fill in your own correct password.
All right.
Yeah. You do so. He collects the money and he like closes the box back and hands it over towards you. Now then, this collar will obviously work towards anyone that is with the tattoo emblazoned on the body. You can't simply place it on, I don't know, a drow lover or some other surface worlder that you are rather fond of.
All right. Well, thinking back, that slave girl was already appropriately tattooed, correct?
She was. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yep, no worries. It is definitely a certified slave that this will be going on. Out of
Excellent.
curiosity, should I decide to upgrade later, how much is the charm spell collar?
That one is generally used for merriment and the like. It does go for high, but not terribly high. It does require 200 gold, but I suppose if you do trade in the old one, I can knock it down to 150.
All right, I will definitely keep that one in mind. There is definitely something to be said for making the slaves suitably friendly. Let's
Indeed.
see. Let's see. I think that probably concludes what I need here. Let's see. So the armor, got the collar. Here's a silly question. One of my companions definitely enjoys a, fine tobacco. Do you know where that would be available around here?
That isn't too far away from here. If you're just looking for a Lucy, I can definitely provide one for you. But if you are looking for your own pack, I suppose going into the bazaar and heading over towards, oh man, I forgot I named this guy Thomas. I'm going to change his name. Tim's.
This guy just offered single cigarettes on a corner.
No, he's basically
Lucy's?
offering you one of his own cigars.
Okay.
Not like, not like single
Yeah,
cigarettes.
I wouldn't think of taking any from you. And since we'll be here for a while, I'm pretty sure we'll need more than one anyway.
Of course.
Um,
Going to Tim's, you can acquire your own cigarettes, or other imbibements.
All right. Well, in that case, I think that it concludes our business here. Thank you very much for your assistance today, and I look forward to returning soon.
And I as well, especially with your and your friends' hefty pockets. And then he says something that you go, yeah, whatever. I don't know if you specifically do that, Boom. He basically says, sorry, something fell nearby me.
Yeah, I thought I heard a noise.
Not sure what it was. Anyways.
My slaves are acting up again.
It's not my cat. My cat's next to me. Anyways. They basically state, Loth be praised or something around that lines.
Oh, yeah. Loth be praised. I will say it, as sincerely as possible. I'm not, I realize, I'm specifically trying to be on my best behavior here, and I want to fit in as well as possible. And and got experience as far as, having to, go along with whatever captors impose. And I am not about to try to put up any sort of signs of resistance or fighting spirit or anything. So, nope, I'm going to go ahead and, or Loth be praised, was it? Or praise be to Loth?
Technically, it does say Loth Talu Mala, but you can just say Loth be praised. He understands common.
Yeah.
But yeah, you make your way out, flanked by your two guards. He politely bows because you are a paying customer. You take the gear, all satcheled up and ready for the next stage. I head towards Tim's. In the meantime, Brat, Gothos, Toulouse, I want you all to go ahead and roll perception checks.
Perception. I'm bad at that. Hey.
Perceptive.
Do I have anything for this?
You probably do.
I really need to make a short list for everything that I have advantage on.
One of my characters, sorry, not characters, one of my players has a spreadsheet of their stuff.
Nope. Perception is not one of them. It's basically everything else in wisdom based.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
usually just
One of
have
you
a
got it.
big old text document.
Toulouse, you do see a
Two?
spider on the west wing wall of the inn. It's very hard to see if you weren't paying attention, and honestly, it makes sense that Toulouse got it. It did require a perception check of 20 or 21. Well, technically 20,
Nice.
but you got a 21, so that works. Other proficiencies. You can tell that in the web that the spider weaves, there is a message barely visible. It does state that on the morrow we shall meet. And underneath it is signed Ran.
The Spider Council.
Not the Spider Council.
Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
House Banray.
Okay.
Banri.
Monterey.
Baenre.
Let's just pretend they're all French.
Banray.
Bonglais.
Banray.
Okay. I'll tell. We got the telepathic thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them telepathically that we got a message from House Banray that we'll meet on the. Wait, does it say we'll meet tomorrow?
On the morrow, so yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, that's what we were waiting for, anyway. So let's
Shit, what time it is? No, actually, that's our papers said that we were going to do that. We had a different thing. But looks like we're going to do that too, I guess.
All right.
Sure, if that's what you want to leave.
Well, that's
All right. Well,
the House Banray is the big house, you know, which is
all right.
what our papers said we were there to do. Talk to the big house on behalf of the dwarves. Am I wrong?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like, what's the second thing you're gonna do?
Sneak it or talk to the Council of Spiders and sneak into the sorcery.
Okay.
Isn't it
Think
same
about
thing?
what you just said, and why would this message be delivered in this way and not just have someone
I
meet
don't know,
you
because
there?
you said it was signed by House Banray, not by the people that we thought were going to help us into the sorcery.
Although we are looking for Gromph Banray, so
I
Also,
thought
they
they
give
were
us,
the same
like-
people.
Pardon?
Or maybe they're the same people?
Could be. But we also had like a passphrase from
Okay.
the
Uh,
Spider Council.
think whatever you want. It is possible that these things are separate.
all right. Well, mentally, I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Do you still need the, the tobacco and incense?
Yes.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to the tobacco vendor.
You head towards Tim's, and he looks towards you. Oh, hey, do you need something to drink, eat, smoke, chew?
Smokables.
A couple of things actually. So one was just a good quantity of quality pipe tobacco. Also, would you happen to sell incense here?
That new age stuff? Probably not. If you want like new age, I don't know, smell things, speak with one of the priestesses of Loth. I'm pretty sure they have like incense you could buy. Like go into one of their churches or whatever.
Oh. Do you know if that'd likely be the expensive incense, the sort that's typically used in rituals?
Probably. I just deal with
All
smokes
right.
and like things you want to get high off of, or drown your sorrows in, or
Yeah.
enjoy
Alright.
your life with.
I don't know. When you put it that way, I could see wanting to clean out your whole stock. But yeah, I'll just settle for a good pouch of pipe tobacco for now.
Yeah, all right, that'll be
Also a pipe.
5 silver.
Also a pipe.
What was that?
Well, yeah,
Don't
if
have
you're
a
gonna
pipe?
get pipe, I don't have a pipe.
Uh,
Have you ever
all
seen me
right.
smoke?
And why would you ask for them?
I just realized my companion lost his favorite pipe somehow. You'd
You could
think it was
probably
his
speak
first
with one of
time
the
in-
priestesses about a scrying spell to locate it, I guess.
Oh, no. I was going to purchase a pipe from you if you have those in stock.
Yeah, that's fine. I just will overcharge
Yeah.
you. All right, that'll be about just a gold.
A gold, is that for both things or
The pipe,
pipe? And how much for the pouch of tobacco?
5 silver.
Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and
I'll
deduct
just.
that.
It's for me, right? I'll just deduct it from my. And
Well, let me
probably.
just go ahead and we can do that. We'll deal with that part later.
Okay.
Rather track all this properly here. All right, so I
All
go
right.
ahead and pay the 1 gold, 5 silver for both items, and all right, thank you. And did he actually say which direction the priests were?
Yeah, he like
Or where
points
I could
towards
go?
a very big building known as the Claw
Oh.
Rift or something along those lines. I don't actually know which building. I'm just gonna say the
there's
Claw
no
Rift is.
priest. Only priestesses.
I did say priestesses.
Yeah, he said priest though.
Oh, I might have slip of the tongue. Whatever. Priestesses is Veloth. I think I said it too quickly that it like slurred altogether.
It was Boom that said priest. Sorry.
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and head that way and see
Alright.
about picking up some incense.
Sure. Word to the wise. Bow. Do whatever you have to get out alive.
Is it normally an issue?
To outsiders, yeah. Usually you like see something you don't want to see, or like they tell you to bow in front of their feet and kiss them, the feet, of course. Sometimes they will kick you or demean you in some way, and outsiders generally like fight back, and that's usually when they die.
Have we not emphasized enough that this is the worst city ever?
Well, I'm certainly, absolutely intend to comply with any sort of requests or demands. Or maybe commands is more the correct word there.
I mean, you have 2 guards with you. You're probably fine as long as you follow their instruction.
Okay. Sorry to have some second thoughts here, but I guess
Yeah.
I will go ahead and go that way. As I, depart, Lolf be praised.
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever. I'm not one of those.
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever.
I belong to House Talabar, like second to the highest person in that house. So I can do whatever. And secretly, he is sweating heavily, but he totally can by that height as long as there's no actual priestess around. he can for sure bluff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and humor him, and then go ahead and continue on my way to pick up the incense.
Yeah, you can for sure tell he was bluffing. Heading over towards the church, you enter inside, and there's immediately a motif of Loth, like a spider silken queen, garbed in like a magistrate of garments, golden lace, silver, platinum. Like the artwork itself is very immaculately beautiful. Definitely mastercraft work, likely from dwarves, as you do see dwarven incarnations of how they depict things and things of that nature. However, you can already tell, it was slave labor. Along the way, you can tell that some priestesses here and there are moving about in the area, attended to by, male guards and the like. Before that, though, you do come across a nice pedestal area where one of the priestesses is currently reading something.
Mhm.
She does notice you, and she closes her book, and she does state towards you, blinking on the word. I'm just going to say it in common, which is English. Loth be praised.
Lulth be praised.
Ah, an
Um,
outsider with actual knowledge. Good, I thought I was dealing with rabble.
Okay. Well, my humble apologies in advance. I am still, somewhat new to the culture, and I would appreciate any guidance that would prevent me from committing any sort of a faux pas. I absolutely do not want to offend during my time here.
I suppose
Asking
coming
questions
here...
is offensive. No.
But
I suppose coming here first would be the best course of action for you.
So anyway, the reason why I'm here is I have been tasked to pick up some incense, ritual incense, and my understanding was that this was an excellent place to obtain such items.
Of course. I assume by House Ben-Ray, currently, they did state that one of theirs is investigating the mishap with the demon lords being summoned nearby. I take it is to deal with that situation at hand.
Yes.
Very well. She steps to the side and soon enough comes back with a handful of incense, roughly worth the value of 100 gold. This should more or less suffice with your endeavors. We have already
Yes.
tasked our crafters with these ordeals that from time to time House Ben-Ray does requisition, so I wrote it down underneath their paperwork.
Thank you ever so much. This will be wonderful.
Right. Good luck to yours and theirs in this mistrial, and hopefully, blink on the name that I gave you not that long ago. The dude that you're looking for is book.
Grumph?
Gromf.
Hmm.
Hopefully Gromf can return to us soon. He's well missed in the sorcery. You can tell that's a lie, but politics.
Right.
No, they want him back to gut him like a fish.
At any rate, surprised that they called out outsiders, but you must have some use to you if they did.
Well, I am here to serve. Well, again, thank you very much for the incense, and Lolth be praised.
She nods, approvingly.
All right, and okay.
And you
at
also
this point,
can
I'll
tell
go ahead.
when, you're not sure when, but the guards never got too close to the priestess.
Ah. All
They're
right.
just like, we're gonna wait outside because
They're
you'll be
waiting by
fine
the
in
door.
there.
Yeah.
All
So they
right.
didn't hear that complete lie. You re-entered inside. You re-exited outside. The guards do look towards you, and as I mentioned beforehand, you didn't roll well enough that they would say anything, but you can tell that they are surprised you did not die.
All right.
Even if you did, they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't raise a hand.
They would have just been like, well,
I totally get it. I mean, heck, if anything, they'd probably just be disappointed they didn't get to do it.
Maybe.
All right.
But soon enough, you are exited out, and I think you have everything you were looking for.
Yep. So at this point, all right, this is everything I need. Thank you very much for your time, and we can go ahead and head back to the inn so that,
Yeah. The guards begin to flank you, one leading the way and the other one watching your back, probably. Spear in hand. Soon enough, you make it to the inn and connect back with your team. But before that, well, probably during that, Gothos and Virzian and the Shield Guardians are like more or less making a campfire, dealing a few things here and there.
Me and Kobo.
Kobo, yeah, my bad. Mixed all the time. Virzian does stay towards Kobo. So then, how are things? I think that's what most people do when making camp. I don't know. I was honestly expecting to read a few things here and there while your team did the work.
Really? Maybe you could help me. I don't mind.
Help you with what?
Oh, I've been learning how to read. I can read common, undercommon,
questions?
and yeah, I can read common, undercommon, and fiendish right now. But if you know anything else, I can learn.
It would take more than a few hours to teach you a language.
Well, yeah, that's why it takes a while. You just keep going. You don't go to school for just one day.
I suppose I can teach you something. Do you know the language of the Fae, Sylvan?
No.
Alright, I suppose we can start there. He then begins to try to teach you. He's more like knowledgeable of magic, but he does know a few languages. Go ahead and roll insight.
Okay. Honestly, he didn't have to try to teach me a new language. He just could have helped me continue my lessons.
You
That
said you already know. The way
I know how
you
to read
worded it,
those
it sounded
languages.
like you knew those already.
Oh no, I knew how to kind of read those languages, but I've got like common and halfling and stuff like that that I can't yet read.
Oh, you should have told him that.
Well, that's what I was trying to do. I just didn't know exactly how to say it. Insight.
It's not the best. Like, you're beginning to understand some of the glyphs and things of that nature. You can understand it a little, like to ask for the bathroom or like where the biblioteca is, but nothing major.
Yeah,
Got Monica.
okay.
You learn
He
phrases.
asked to learn the phrase "kill them." That's a good one to know.
You basically learn phrases. It's like the start of learning a language. Things you can probably understand when people say it, but not comprehend when they structure it in a paragraph. Yeah. After a few hours, he does state, "All right, that is going to generally get you around.
Okay.
You can more or less
Thank you very
ask for
much.
where the food is, or where the bathroom is, or where the library is, which are things I assume you'll like to ask for.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and also where the shop is, which is a little different depending on who you ask. It could be like where the clothing store is, or where the food stall is. So, good luck on that one.
Thank you.
I don't know. Teaching languages isn't exactly my forte. I generally deal with magic and the like.
Well, I'd like to learn magic.
Are you a wizard of some sort?
I am a sorcerer, but I've also learned some bardic spells.
I could perhaps teach you
However,
some
I've
of the bardic
always-
spells, but unless you're a wizard, I can only teach you so much. Alright then,
I understand, but it's always interesting.
do you know how to Let's start with a small one. Do you know the spell Mage Hand, perhaps?
I do.
Alright, let's see, what's another bardic spell? Prestidigitation?
Yes, I got those. Those are my first two. And
That would make sense. Those are generally the first two people collect and gather. Produce flame.
No, I don't have that one.
Alright, I suppose that could be easily enough done. Go ahead and roll Arcana. Even worse than before. You can warm up your hands, like if they're cold, but you can't produce flame.
Okay. All right, no problem.
Which is honestly still impressive. He is a good teacher with magic, but 12's a 12.
I know.
Well, your hands are warmer, but that's about it. Alright. We should probably get some sleep. I don't know about you, but I've been up for the last 18 hours, and I need my good 4 hours
Yes.
before I can be fully rested again.
Yes, of course. I can take watch while you get some rest, and then I'll take it to myself. And I just have to wait for our.
If you'd like, I was honestly going to have the shield guardians take watch, but
Oh,
the more the
you have
merrier.
those? Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize he had shield guardians. I thought it was just us.
You left the shield guardians here because, they for sure would get
Oh,
you in
yeah.
trouble because they're very righteous and lawful.
Yes. Oh, in that case, yeah, I'll go ahead and take a nap too.
Yeah, they nod
Reset
approvingly,
my spells.
glad to help the warriors that helped out their kin in turn. In that kind of way or fashion. They do take up their watches, and soon enough, Verizian is awake after 4 hours. And, you probably wake up sometime later. Probably. I don't really know how long Kobo's long rest is. Probably still long rest state time.
Yeah. Yeah, the standard 8 hours
Yeah.
or whatever. Tomorrow morning I'll be getting up.
Tomorrow morning, you easily wake up, and Verzian does state, Oh, that's right, your kind requires a good amount of sleep still. Well, he looks behind him, and the shield guardians are currently knocked out because they stayed up for a good amount of time. They're still resting, but, they should be fine. Do you know when your companions will be joining us, or do you expect them to still be there for a while? I expected maybe 2 to 3 days, but as long as they didn't make a ruckus, they should be okay.
I'm hoping soon, but it could very well be 2 to 3 days.
Very well then. It's too bad they don't have some sort of magic that can tether the mind to mine or yours. That would have been most useful now.
Yes, that's what I was kind of hoping for. I'm pretty sure they can find a way to contact me, but they have to be able to do that.
Hopefully. I would have offered them a sending stone, but I don't have one currently.
Before the day is out,
Yeah, going back to your team, you come back with the armaments. I was just giving Kobo something to do. Coming back to with the armaments, you give things here and there to your team, mainly Gothos and his tobacco issue.
Mm-hmm. So I give him some tobacco. I also give him. Do you want 10 gold worth incense?
This is incense from a spider temple. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like the brain thing. I don't really think that's gonna bother the spiders. I'm good.
All right. Well, it might if you burn it wrong. So you'll just want to be careful to do it right. But anyway, so something I was thinking about. Oh, and here's the armor. I'm thinking about, the difficulty as far as, long distance communication with companions and things like that. Do you think that I should pick up the sending spell? It's not something I have, but if it's available locally and I really buckle down for the evening, I could have that prepared.
Yeah, the
That
spell
spell's
gives
pretty
us an
useful.
excuse. Yeah, and it gives us an excuse to visit the sorcery or whatever.
To visit what?
The magic school.
Bus.
Ah.
I just assume that's where it's available.
All right. So, okay. Is this something where anybody wants to go along with me, or should I go by myself again?
The antidote does state probably best to go with more than one person to, the Magic Academy, just in case. Not that I
I'll
believe
tag
you will
along.
be in danger.
Mhm.
Toulouse said
Yeah,
he'd
I'll
Toulouse
tag
has
along.
this is
I have some
magically
arcane,
aspected.
interest at hand.
All right. How far away is that?
Truthfully, a good half hour, I think. But, you can get there just fine.
Okay. In that case, do we think we have any need for the telepathic bond, or can we do without that this time? If not, it's
I guess,
fine either way.
You
with you
hardly
and
used
Toulouse
it.
there, you should be, yeah. With you
All
and
right.
Toulouse there, you should be fine.
All right.
What
Well,
could
what
go
I'm gonna
wrong?
do. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to, right before leaving, I'm going to cast Skill Empowerment on myself. And actually, I'm going to cast it on myself twice, actually. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first casting of it is going to be to give myself expertise in persuasion, and the other casting is to give myself expertise in deception. And with that, it's like, okay, come on, Toulouse, if you're ready, let's go ahead and check this place out.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Both
All
of
right.
us will don his fancy new armor.
Mhm.
You don the
All
fancy
right.
new armor. It looks
Mhm.
honestly quite nice, and it does fit well. They did not cheap out on the price, value, and bargain. It's definitely something worthy of a prize. However, it's also now spider motifed. So, there's that.
Mhm.
But it's, very fitting. In the meantime, Boom and Toulouse, you do head over towards the sorcery, because apparently that's where you wanted to go. Casting magic on yourself before you head out. You definitely do so. Along the way, you do see tragic events, but I've already caused one of you to be kicked out. So I'm just going to make mention of them. If you decide to do anything, it's entirely up to you and your team. That is currently outside of the city. Well, not outside of the city. That's currently outside in the city. You do see a few tragic events here and there. Some people being sold off into the market, others being sold into it. You do see at one point in time 2 human children, roughly the ages of 13 and maybe 12, one definitely younger, crying about where their mother is currently. One of the drow do state that unless you be quiet, you will wind up where she is, and you do not want to be there, which causes them to even more cry. And by the way things have gone, Boom and Toulouse, it's quite possible that she will die in any moment.
Yeah. Well, I am just going to go ahead and maintain tunnel vision. I'm just going to act like I'm trying to ignore panhandlers and keep on moving.
Mm-hmm. Along the path, you
Kind
do
of trying to. Go
also
ahead.
see people beginning to create a cave system inside the overarching wall. However, you both, with your perception skills and your own intellect, can determine that the wall system itself will crumble if there is any more force put into it. One individual does state this towards the person watching over them, that if we dig any further in, that the tunnel system will collapse on us, and any moment now we all could die. The Watcher simply states if you don't continue to move into the tunnel system, then you will die no matter what.
Well, I'm just going to be glad I'm not digging tunnels. Keep on moving.
Various individuals of
Yeah.
ages and sizes are inside the tunnel system,
Oh.
going from children to elderly.
Just try and summon some inner strength and just keep on going and just focusing on the task at hand, and that, we're dealing with a greater evil.
Yeah.
Although-
You do see panhandlers here and there, but the last thing you do take note of is someone being flagged immediately in front of you, or flailed immediately in front of you. presented in the middle of the street, just blood being drawn out by the various whips and other serrated blades causing them to bleed out. You step to the side because that's likely what we're going to do as people begin to more or less berate the individual being hurt. They're roughly around the ages of 28, maybe early 30s. Human with silver hair, which is surprising, but not that unsurprising.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, someone might have been pretending to be a drow individual trying to be in the city, but was immediately found and soon will be put to death. You eventually make it to the sorcery without too much issue, other than morality. 2 guards are flanking you currently. Well, 3 guards. They would have sent more than 2 guards for 2 of you. But not so much that your team wouldn't be viewed upon. But 3 guards did follow you, but they did not stop whatsoever. This is a common occurrence to them. Eventually, you make it to the sorcery, and you do see someone greeting you there. It's not as if they were expecting you. It's more like, oh, there has to be someone to greet people. Heading there, you do see this man roughly around the age of human-looking 53, but probably way older than that for the drow. They do state towards you, "Loth be praised, and what brings you over here?"
Loth be praised. I'm looking for a spell, the sending spell in particular, and I was directed this way, told that you might have that available.
While we do nurture the gifts of others within our walls, you don't particularly be... I don't suppose you are someone's acolyte, or perhaps someone's retainer?
Our paperwork does indicate we're from House Banray, was it?
To meet with House Banray.
Yeah, okay. Shoot, I'm trying to think if I want to
Only you
have...
had a brain like.
Hey, I asked. Although I guess I wouldn't have been able to do that and then both of these. I'll just say, well, I'm here on behalf of House Banray.
Roll deception, and at disadvantage because the guards are right next to you.
All right.
That isn't necessarily a lie. It's just like you have more people watching you.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to find the disadvantage button. All right. And just as a disclaimer, each of these rolls is going to get +8 to it.
Yeah, because you're your magic thing.
Yeah. So 18.
18's pretty good. The man does state, well, they did say they were bringing in people to assist Grumph with his investigation. I was going to state that if you were not, then perhaps finding a spell scroll within the bazaar might be able to help you, but as soon as you open it, it will be cast, and often not outsiders aren't aware of that. Very well then. Step inside. I can show you the glyphs, but I cannot, I'm afraid, permit you to be taught within the walls.
You know,
Alrighty.
because we're racist.
Yes. They don't say that out loud, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, they would say it out loud. After all, you are inferior to the drow. And unless you're a retainer or someone's pet, you would not even be allowed in here to begin with. He takes you basically to his own accommodations, which is basically his study area. He then begins to write down the glyphs for the sending spell and presents it and shows it to you in a scroll. Now then, I assume you have... No, you said you were sent here by them. You're likely just a messenger. That's perfectly fine. This incantated magic is not inscribed within the letters here. So if you do see it, you can memorize it, and if your master or retainer or your boss does look at it, they can recite the magic and actually imbue their magical energies into it to actually cast the spell.
Understood.
Yeah, very well then. He rolls it up and hands it to you, thinking it's part of the investigation that they believe is currently going on, which might be true.
All right.
Tangentially related to the truth.
Yeah. Also, when you guys walked in, you can tell that they said something to, you're not sure what they said. It was something in Undercommon. If you speak it, they just simply spoke the words, a knife hidden is better than a knife seen. And some
I do have
glyphs.
Undercommon.
Yeah, some glyphs powered down along the walls. He did state that this is a precaution after all. Outsiders that are allowed in here will mainly die due to security measures placed in here, but you have nothing to worry as long as you're with him. But they're only down for an hour. Afterwards, this magic word that he used will be recited into those allowed here, the new one. So it changes every time it's used.
All right.
That being the case, though, you enter inside, you do see a whole bunch of disturbing things and some normal things. You do see people in class, and then you see some torture things with magic and stuff. You ignore it. I'm not going to go through the description because you've already passed the trial of being a gray individual. Not black or white, just gray. You are handed a spell scroll.
Not that old.
I said, yeah, whatever. You get the spell scroll without any magic cast into it. It's just the spell without any magic, so you can potentially learn it. He then walks you out because he has to make sure you're out within the hour time limit, and he does state, now that you're back in the entrance, well then, if there's anything else your house needs, do let us know. We are still searching for the reason these demon lords erupted from here out of nowhere. Hopefully, Ben Ray's assistance can prove beneficial to us all.
I'm confident that he will be. Lolth be praised.
Lolth be praised. Toulouse gives him the widest handshake. Because I think Toulouse is also an individual that didn't want to use those words.
Yeah.
You guys begin to head out and soon enough meet back with your parties.
Actually, before that, one last thing. I'm assuming I need to get some sort of the ink and papers in order to actually transcribe this?
Yeah, technically. You go to the store. There you find a magic incanter shop. You easily find ink and quill and the paper to do this into your spell book. If you have a spell book, boom.
I do.
Yeah, I think it only costs 50 gold to write it down as well as time, but you can definitely do that before going to sleep.
All right, perfect. So I'll go ahead and deduct the 50 gold for that. So let's see, that brings me
Yeah, that's just standard stuff.
Yeah. 974. All right, so yep, I go ahead and pay for that, and then go ahead and head back to the inn.
Okay. Surprisingly enough, you guys didn't find anything, so I'm putting you back into the box.
All right.
Open the box.
Your party
All right.
is back together.
Okay, I got what I needed. I'm gonna need some time to do this. Since time's of the essence, I better start working on this right now. And that way I'll have it prepared for use bright and early in the morning.
Soon enough, you are able to write it into your spellbook and memorize it and prepare it for the next day. If you decide to prepare it, it's entirely up to you.
Yep, most definitely. Let's see, what will I disable?
Run through all that to do nothing.
Yeah. When you arise, you are more or less rested. Not well rested, but rested. All the while, you're not sure when she fell asleep, but, the person that you guys bought, illegally, by the way, since you're not from here, has fallen asleep some time ago. After just cowering in fear in the corner, she eventually fell asleep.
Remind me again. This person is a human,
A halfling.
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 Halfling, maybe the ages of between 18 to 21, looking on the younger side of halfling age. Currently cowered in fear in the corner. At one point in time, I imagine probably Slash, or probably Nom Nom, covered her with a blanket.
Just I know nobody in this team probably does. Anybody proficient in heavy armor? Anybody know how to wear that? No.
I know how to watch people wear it.
Yeah, I was just thinking of maybe slapping my old armor on this helpless slave.
What?
Pardon?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to carry it around.
You are.
No, I got my heavy armor. I have an old set of splint armor that I was just wearing a moment ago.
And you want. Dagba, I'm gonna look at our slave that we still haven't asked the name of. But, it doesn't look strong enough to actually wear it.
No. She was maybe a farmer at one point in time, which, is normally hardy, but not so hardy that she'd be out in fighting combat gear.
Speaking of wearing things,
You don't?
so I mean, the blacksmith did describe the collar. Is there any? I mean, it's really just the command stuff. There's nothing that the collar would do that we don't have control over.
The color itself simply dominates a person. It is to the degree, in fact, of no personality inside the individual once worn, and the command word is, cast. Normally, these are the colors used basically to demean the individual, controlled. But with this type of effect, it doesn't allow the individual to its max height ability. But maybe you don't want that. In someone you're trying to control.
Is there a way to, I assume there's magical runes or some sort of a spell baked into the thing? Can we, mar it, scratch out a rune so it doesn't work?
There is an intricate design in it, and you're not really sure what are the magical incantation symbols and what are just filigree. Unless you're a tinkerer of some sort, or what are they called? A warforged, a tinkerer, or there was an actual class for this. Artificer, whatever. However you pronounce it, I really don't care. I'll pronounce it any which way I want. You can correct me all you want.
It is a made-up word.
If you're that. Otherwise, it would be Arcana check disadvantage -2. Because this is also a culture you're not fully familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nix the -2 because Slash is there.
Destroy than build.
You also don't
this?
have to put a command color on the individual. This is just, for safety reasons in case they try to run away.
Can I go ahead and cast Identify on it and see if I can figure out what the nature... I mean, specifically, I'm looking for if there's any sort of booby traps or defenses on this sort of thing. Countermeasures, if you will.
Yeah. You identify it, and before that... Toulouse, were you trying to say something? I saw the icon glow for a second.
No. My computer was being weird. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure you're heard. Except for you, Thomas. Thomas, you can be quiet. Why are you talking so much? No, I'm just kidding. Identifying the collar, you can tell that the spell known as Dominate Monster is placed in it. A little stronger than a Dominate Person, but only, to dominate someone specifically. To such a fact and extent that basically their personality would be wiped out. It's not permanent, it's just when the word is cast, it is used. It is always present and always there, but it is only marked with identifiable marker on the individual, i.e., the tattoo. It won't work on, say, Kubo, Toulouse, Slash, Bract, or anyone else that doesn't have that tattoo. The tattoo is obviously an indication of slavery and servitude. So even if you do run away without the tattoo, you are easily identifiable. Sorry, without the collar, you are easily identifiable. There is no booby trap, though.
All right. Well, this it's a fairly basic collar. I could always try dispelling the magic on it if we really need to be able to put it on her and look convincing.
If you got time before bed.
You
Yeah, it's
You could if you wanted to, but I will tell you that dispel magic would only dispel it for so long.
You just take a dagger and scratchy all the inside.
What if that makes it like? Can I roll something to see if like? What if that like makes it worse? If you
Yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
yeah. Well, for what it's worth, that was what I was trying to look for with identify. I mean, anything that would be bad about it.
Like there is no like indication of what's bad about it. This is well-made stuff. Unfortunately, you went to a well-made.
Yeah.
The blacksmith itself
Yeah,
is actually top-notch.
Yeah. When I say bad, that wasn't the right word. I meant more the whole countermeasure sort of thing.
Oh, there's no currently viewable countermeasure from what you can tell, other than dispelling it, and that will only last for so long. Toulouse, you can tell like marring it in any way will very easily be visible. The filigree is all over the color itself. It's an indication of someone's craftsmanship and work. If you like scratch it up anywhere, people will take notice and like more or less ask what happened here, what's going on. It'd be basically plastering a target on yourselves again.
Okay.
They wouldn't immediately know what you're doing. It's just, why would you do such a sloppy job? And like more and more eyes would be on you.
So, the guy did say the collar was reusable. Does that mean that with the command word, I'm free to essentially put it on and remove it at will?
Yeah.
Okay.
And can't you just have it on and not activate it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the only reason I was looking at the dispel stuff was that I thought the way the description was, it sounded like it was going to nuke their personality regardless. That was the only reason I was concerned. Yeah, if we can put it on and just let it be decorative, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I made mention of it before. Once the spell is cast is when you use the word. You don't have to use it.
All right.
Yeah. Also, for that matter, you also don't have to put it on the person. It's just a safety measure for, individuals down here.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, if we want to blend in, we want to make sure these things look like they're proper, so...
Yeah. If you had to guess, only high-ranking officials don't use these colors because why would they need to? They can just buy and sell these type of people over and over again. Or kill them without a sense of remorse. But yeah, they're currently sleeping. I assume at one point in time you put the collar on, fully knowing that you don't have to activate it. Eventually, in the morning, you wake up and you can tell that they're knocked out because eventually they did fall asleep. You can only be in a state of panic so long that your mind eventually shuts down. Or you go crazy. One of the two. That being the case, though, you do hear a knock at your door, and it is the captain currently, stating, "Well then, it does seem you have a visitor here, and someone of high repute. I do suggest you answer them promptly."
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, that sounds like Drow. I mean, the wonderful priestesses. Sure.
Eventually you open the door and standing before you, if I read this correctly, stands an entire platoon full of individuals, far outnumbering which is weird. Far outnumbering your guards. Standing before
Just
you
take a
is
turn.
30 Dwar Drow elite. I don't know why it says it this way. I don't know what Dwar are. Dwar Drow elite warriors mounted on giant riding lizards. With
Does it
6
mean
gargoyles.
dour? Like, unhappy.
Probably. Oh yeah, dour. I don't know why I read it that way. Dour Drow elite warriors, like 30 of them, mounted on giant lizards, with 6 gargoyles providing aerial support. One of them does stand out. A faceless individual does state, I do believe you are the individuals that my mistress has called for. I do suggest you follow us before you cause any more trouble within the city.
Your highly efficient law enforcement is already taking care of any troublemakers in our midst. A moment,
doubt
please,
that.
gather everyone.
The individual then looks towards the captain. Thank you for providing this service, miss, and may Loth bless you and your house. Indeed. She then is happy, air quotes, that she doesn't have to deal with you anymore. She just simply states towards you, may the light cast upon your skin, and like walks away.
That's different.
That actually sounds like an insult.
Slash does state, it is. Anyways, the guard that...
And you as well.
Sure you want to do that?
No.
Preemptive face-palm.
There's a reason why Kobo got thrown out. The guard, the new guard captain, no longer her, does state, all right then, take your equipment and gear and we'll be along the way. One of our men can acquire and take care of your things while we make tread to House Benray.
Take care of our things? Were they packing up for us?
Basically, they'll carry your things so you don't have to. That does include, your personal belongings, your gear, if you do allow it. Obviously, you can carry your things if you want. It's entirely up to you. But that also does include, the person you guys bought the other day. But soon enough, you acquire your equipment. Eventually, I'm going to say Nom Nom wakes her up. Afraid, but, also not going to not follow you guys. With so many people around, she does follow. The guard captain does state, new guard captain, I'm going to call him Q, does state, all right then, you're about to meet the mistress of our house. Do not cause any problems and do not cause any concerns. From what we have learned, that one of your party has already done this. Before you dare do, are there any questions you have need of answering?
Anything beyond the regular deference to a drow matron that we should be aware of?
Do not contradict. Do not belittle. Do not shush. Basically, they are superior towards all of us, and including you, especially. Not you, especially, Gothos. Like, you as in your party.
All.
Yeah, you all. Simply know your place and you should be fine. But many outsiders forget this.
Okay. Yeah, no, show us in, I suppose.
Right. As you walk over towards the area that you do come across, you are, by willing or by force, head over towards Quithel Benray, the matron mother of this estate. A vast web of heavy metallic strands form a kind of fence around a sprawling compound of structure laid out on a plateau at the top of Menzaborenton's great cavern. Dozens of massive stalactites and stalagmites have been carved and shaped into towers, guarded with balconies and walkways, and connected with delicate-looking ramps and bridges. All the compound is lit with bright light in pale shades of violet, blue, and green. Dozens of drow warriors are stationed on the overlooks and walkways, ever vigilant as they watch your approach. As you arrive, the matron does stand before you in not the walking path, but the path leading up to the area. She does welcome you in a tone befitting belittlement, but soon enough she does come over towards a better understanding of you. She does state, "Welcome, travelers. It's been far too long since you arrived in the city. I had my eyes on you ever since you've gotten here, and well, it does seem I do and am in need of your services, as you are all magically gifted."
Any service we can provide, Matron, I'm sure our diplomatic status will allow us to do.
Of course. She walks into the, purveying building, and obviously you follow, as indicating she doesn't have to say anything, for you to follow. As the guards around you basically move you in the direction, even if you didn't want to. Because in my notes, it does state, by willingness of Red Force. You follow into the sanctum. She does sit down in her massive ambiance chair that is clearly not only for decorations, and you do see other symbols of magic on it. She more or less welcomes you to sit or stand however you may. But all the while, because she's on her throne, she is looking down at you, so, it fits the motif. She then states, "Now then, getting down to business. I am in contact with a few people known as the Council of Spiders, or whatever they call themselves nowadays. Sorcerers and the like that seek power and vigilance in it. I was made aware that one of them was going to try to contact you the other day, or sometime this week. Until you and yours made yourselves fully aware to the city. So now it was mainly up to me to get you out of that predicament. So I will cut to the chase. I am aware of why you're here, to a degree. You are here to try to seek any evidence and circumstantial, although it may be, of Gromp's ordeal. We're not exactly sure where he is right now, and when I sent guards to see what exactly happened in his sanctum, they weren't able to discover anything. The council did state that they were going to have outsiders investigate, and I will allow this, so long as what you find stays out of the public eye and comes to me in the end.
I can assure you, Matron, that our group has very little interest in conversing with the population at whole.
Yes. Well, right now we're not entirely sure what my loathsome brother did. I do not really care about the Demon Lords. It is clearly Loth testing our will and strength. If we are to die, we are to die. And it is by her right and absolute mind that we will. All the while, though, I'd rather not have my brother besmirch our family name. So if you do find something of value and worth, bring it towards me. Otherwise, I want the rest burnt down in the ashes. There are some
And
traps.
given to understand.
Go ahead. She wouldn't have talked if you said something, because you would have waited for the moment in time. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're given to understand then that Gromp has no official sanction from any of the houses of Menzoberranza?
He is officially on leave to investigate this current ordeal of the demon lords appearing out of nowhere. The houses do not really know any of this and just simply believe this story to be true. As of right now, we're not sure of his whereabouts. So I suggest not besmirching his name, as that would besmirch my house's name, and that's the entire reason why I allow you to speak here.
So you want him stopped and or executed without any fanfare?
I want the evidence gone, and if you can find him, all the better. If you can't, well, my house will deal with him when we acquire that information on ourselves.
I'm glad that our interests are aligned.
Right. I will provide you the word to lock up the security measures for the hour when you arrive inside. You will be allowed entrance into the tower, but you will not be allowed entrance into the sanctum that my brother once held. As that is his to give, and currently he cannot give it. However, when my investigation team did enter it, they were attacked by golems and elementals. So if you can find any evidence to dismantle those, I do suggest you find them. Or defeat the traps. I really care not if your numbers dwindle in the end. So long as the job is done.
Well, you cannot grant us access to this inner sanctum, but you are very specifically not barring us from it.
Of course, but I myself cannot be around when you do these ordeals. I will give you paperwork to enter inside the sorcery, but I cannot provide you with any further assistance. But I can provide you with one last thing. I can, as long as they don't cause any more commotion, allow re-entrance to the one you lost the other day.
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah.
That would be quite helpful. I mean, even I like to think he's learned from his mistakes, and the rest of us will be more than happy to remind him of appropriate protocol. And even despite some of his flaws, he has proven himself to be a valuable asset, and his out of the box thinking is especially useful in situations like this.
I am sure. You don't believe she's buying this story, but she really doesn't care. I also forgot to move your marker. Right here. She does state though.
Boom, can you?
Good.
Boom, can you confirm Kobo's location and his nearest gate for the papers to be sent there?
Sure.
She waves her hand to allow it.
Okay.
It's not like you were going to do it anyways, but it's basically the political thing.
Right. So just so let him know he's going to have papers relayed to him. Where is he so that they can be delivered?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and cast sending to Kobo. Kobo, we've made contact. You're authorized to return to city. Where are you so that we can have paperwork delivered to you?
And 3 words short, you definitely make that message sent.
Nice.
Okay.
25 words, Kobo.
All right.
Oh, really? I thought it was 30. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm going to say it's 30.
Well, I counted 22, so it was 33 words short of 25.
Yeah, I think I counted when you stopped mid-word, so that's my bad.
Understood.
End of
Um,
sentence.
Mhm.
Understood. Southgate will be waiting. I'll be good.
I'm not sure if that's true or not, but
Okay.
Southgate nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, he promises that he will make no further transgressions, and he will be waiting near the south gate.
Very well then. Like she commands someone to be sent out there, and she does state, "I cannot provide safety the next time your team creates another ordeal. That will be punishable by death. Loth can only forgive outsiders for so long."
Understood, and I am disappointed that we've even had to rely on that grace even for the first time.
All too true. Now then, soon enough she claps and like papers are handed over towards you. I'm gonna say the person that's standing in front, which is probably Gothos, since you basically said you were gonna stand in that position. Brack, big buff bodyguard, and boom, CIA agent behind him, watching out for danger. The paperwork are given and handed over towards you, so you can enter into sorcery without, dying immediately.
Okay, so we've got the paperwork to go into the sorcery.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a way to send the slave out with our papers for Kobo. Get her out of harm's way.
They do consider, slaves, things like, you can definitely send some of your things, air quotes, with the message.
Hmm.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. If at all possible, we would. It would be a detriment to have this useless slave with us in the sorcery.
Yes.
Perhaps we could simply send her out with the missive to our companion.
That would likely be wise.
With your permission, I would like to escort the slave out and then also escort Kobo back in, just to help guide him to avoid any further transgressions.
Of course. She claps. Two guards come in with your slave in tow, like currently having her leashed by hand and shackles, leading her alongside you. She does state, "Follow this man and escort his property out of the walls and escort his new or former ally back in. He has been allowed re-entrance, and as long as they don't cause any more trouble, freely roaming privileges." They nod and begin to head over towards the south gate alongside Boom and, your stuff, air quotes.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and follow along and kind of monitor the situation.
Yeah. I will state that we can easily fast track this. You meet at the south gate with Kobo. Kobo says he forgot some things in the back, so let me get some of the stuff we have here, aka the person you guys bought, and fakely your other fake gear that you also have in person, like Gothos' old armor. You grab it, collect it, and
We
bring
might
it
as
over.
well have the slave wear it. It's funny to me. Like there's nothing in the rules that say someone who is too weak and doesn't have proficient can't wear it. She just moves 10 feet slower and has disadvantage on attack and strength and dexterity checks. Which
I think for a commoner, you'd basically cut your speed in half.
it says 10 feet, but yeah, 15 feet, who cares? That's not
Like
much
for
of
an
a difference.
adventurer, like if you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
used to this
Fair
life, I
enough.
want to say it cuts it in half.
You said she was a farmhand, but that's fine. Yeah, so I'll just throw it
I'm
on
saying
her.
she looks like a farmhand to you.
That, hopefully that would do a little bit to make her feel less fucking terrified.
No,
if
it's like a
coated in armor
restrictive
scales.
piece of metal with like shielding, sure, but if you're not, used to this kind of garb, it's basically like an Iron Maiden being worn as you move around.
But it's scale mail. Should be like, I don't know. Whatever, I can't win with this slave.
No. She's terrified, dude. For sure, it does, provide her some cover and, higher AC, but there is no way she's still not terrified.
Whatever, it'll
And
make
for the most
dwarves
part,
more
ever since
it'll make the dwarves more receptive to her.
Oh no, they'd be receptive regardless. They would obviously see, the shackles, the chains, and immediately try to assist this woman. Like, she'd be fine with it.
The collar that 100% wasn't done up all the way.
Yeah. I'm going to say you guys sent a message to say how to remove the collar if need be. If it makes her feel better and things of that nature. And, try to, calm her down. As she is more or less in a state of shock.
Yeah, no, I can't. We don't have brain link. Never mind.
Yeah. But she sent over to Verizian. Kobo comes back with his gear, air quotes, the fake things he left, and comes back with Boom and the two guards that were sent alongside Boom. The two guards then state, "All right then, follow us. Meet back with your team at House Benray." I was doing so well.
I'm also going to make it clear to Kobo that we had to pull strings just to make sure that the slave wasn't destroyed as
a non-person.
Yeah. So
I understand. Thank you.
Yeah.
And as we're walking, I maintain tunnel vision to keep my head down.
Yeah.
Not looking.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna mess with you.
I'll try to maintain my position to kind of interpose myself between Kobo and anybody else that might cause any emotional outbursts.
For sure, there's a lot, but you're more or less trained for this.
The dogma, like someone's about to step on a baby. What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. You walk.
Make sure to step where the diaper isn't.
You walk over towards your team and eventually get there, all the while seeing some horrific things. Your team at this point would likely be escorted out of the chamber that the matriarch is in, unless you have something to say. Otherwise, that conversation is basically done. Unless, you decide to attack her for some reason or another.
The less the better, spoken to a drow matron.
Probably. But it does give me stats just in case you want to fight her.
Don't we still have
that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably never get a better opportunity to take a pot shot at a drow matron, but also, to what end?
Death.
Again, we are trying to save the world, and it sounds like getting ourselves killed or exiled isn't gonna help us there.
Yeah.
And she just gave us the keys to the tower to fuck up the guy who's trying to end the world, so...
Basically, to wash them off the board.
Gifts. Yeah, we'll take our gifts what we're given.
Yeah. You return back with the group, in the middle of the street, outside of the house. And when you arrive, a bat also, lands on Brax, since he's the biggest thing. Echo can, land on.
Echo's like, there's so many fucking spiders.
Echo has been gone for close to 24 hours, by the way.
I've been awake for way too long, man.
Echo does
mentally deck. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
And then go.
Okay. Mentally to Echo, I'll say, sorry about the delay. We got into some trouble, and I really didn't want you associated with us for your own safety.
I was telling some young kid you told me to look after, boss.
Yeah. Well, I had originally planned to call you back sooner to find out what was going on. Speaking of, how is the kid?
Currently being brainwashed to believe he was always down here. Part of a fighting regiment of, spies and stuff like that.
This place is hell. certainly can't save them all. I'm not sure we can really even save anybody, but they're around here.
Yeah, they're in house Mizram.
Oh,
Right now they're like brainwashing the kid to go up to the surface, believing he was always raised as a drow. Going into a new flank platoon of Tabaxi warriors nearby to like go into their ranks, follow their lead, and things of that nature. Rise as high as possible to come back down here with like intel and things.
actually, that's interesting.
Super agent.
Actually, that sounds like somebody who might actually be salvageable. Just find them on the surface. I mean, granted, probably easier said than done. But all right, well, I'll go ahead and
Yeah, I'm
try and
sure
keep track.
deprogramming is. I'm
Yeah.
sure deprogramming a drow spy would be easy enough.
It's possible. But Echo does state, and they've been awakened, so you can understand him. They're obviously not saying it in front of the guards. The guards basically left you guys alone after they kicked you out of the house. Not forcibly, of course.
Oh, and I'm
Echo-
relying on mental communication with Echo.
Oh, yeah, sure. If that's the case. Echo does state, yeah, apparently their last spy went missing or MIA at the moment. They recalled them for a while ago, but, they haven't gotten in contact with them before. So they're, like, trying again with a new one.
Boom! It was you all along.
Oh no, I'm the Manchurian candidate.
Yeah,
You might be.
I
You wouldn't
killed
know,
him.
honestly.
Well, there's maybe some code word it's about to trigger.
But Echo more or less then licks his face to clean it. Basically all I learned. Also, this one drow guy's in the house, in a weird building alongside the west wall. I'm just gonna tell you out right now. That was
He's
another
got
guy
two
you could have.
scimitars and purple eyes. Sorry.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't get his name. It was basically another contact you could have made, but
I didn't say any names.
I know. I'm just saying this could have been another contact you've met. I'm not saying if your thing is true or not. I'm just saying that that's another contact you could have made. But because of so much trouble you got in, some matriarch had to help you out.
Yeah, that does seem to confirm my theory about the whole that we'd have been, too hot to handle there. So yeah, it sounds like whoever would have normally contacted us didn't want to do anything that was probably going to get them killed.
The other one is high in the pedestal, but not high enough to get outsiders out of trouble.
Yeah. Alrighty.
For sure, it had to be a matriarch. But nonetheless, though, Antidote does state. All right, then. We have way to the sorcery, and as long as we don't cause trouble, we probably won't be in a fight. But if we are, I suggest we get there as soon as possible.
Are you kidding me? We went from being under observation to literally having fuck you papers. This says we get to go into the big guy's tower. Signed by a matron. We are officially more important than a lot of people here.
Yeah, they won't bug us when we go inside, but if we cause trouble, there's no going around that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's try not to abuse that.
Antidote does state, you thought the exact same thing when we had, no offense, your mound here with us, and that almost got us in trouble.
I misjudged some things, sure, but everything worked out.
Yeah, let's just try not to do that. You come back to the sorcery without too much of an issue, unless you decided to do something else beforehand.
Yeah, I see a couple of slaves on the way, and no.
Yeah, you do see a whole bunch of things you don't want to see. Many of you create blinders for yourselves so you don't get in trouble.
I literally put down the visor of the helmet.
Start getting into a bidding war over somebody's slave that they're trying to kill off.
Yeah, honestly.
Or go to where all those kids were having to do that mining that was going to collapse, and if you have to rebuild the tunnel, it's the loss of productivity. Not going to tell you how to do your job, but I'm going to tell you how to do it right.
Yeah, trying to explain the economics of For fucking slaver.
The, the Watcher just looked towards you and goes, "Yeah, keep walking. Don't tell me when to do my job. If I need to get more, I'll get more. They can always dig up the dead bodies when they dig the tunnel."
Bodies aren't a great foundation for a tunnel, but that's fine. Okay, bye.
It's more or less they don't care.
I'm less
Probably don't
concerned
even
about
need the
pissing
tunnel.
off any males of the society than any females. What are
Yeah.
the males going to do? Complain to a female and get stabbed for complaining?
Or might die. But for sure, you do see some dead bodies along the walls. Some people that you didn't save did die. Others got extremely hurt and close to death. I'm not going to describe details because, your choices were made. But people did die.
Becoming harder and harder to justify saving the city, even if it will save the rest of the world.
Or, just not murdering everyone. You have found people that aren't the worst of the worst people, but at the exact same time, there's so much bad things down here that it's easily, for most people, justifiable to just get rid of it all. But soon enough,
yeah, no.
soon,
I'm not going to get myself in any more trouble.
you can if you want to. Soon enough, you enter into the sorcery, and the same guy that was keeping watch in the front looks towards all of you, and boom, primarily because he was here first. Then Toulouse, because he was also here first. Oh, I just realized the Tabaxis were here first. So yeah, looking towards Boom, since he was the one that talked with him primarily. Welcome back. Oh, you've brought friends.
Yes.
And looks towards Brack, rather big ones too. What brings you all back here, I suppose?
This Gothos just kind of whistles like, "Hey, down here, proud boy. We got papers, and you're not going to like them."
He does go wide-eyed when he reads them, as you hold them out for him to read, but not so much that he can take them from you. Right, I really don't like this. So much filth going into my sanctum. No matter though.
Yeah, but you're not going to do anything to contradict it, are you?
Not
Hey,
unless
when
you
was the last time a
cause a
goblin
ruckus
set foot
in
in
here.
those hallowed halls, huh?
He just gives you the meanest smug you've ever had. Right. Well,
Oh yeah, I drink your tears.
I really don't care. So long as you don't cause trouble, you should be allowed inside. The wards themselves won't activate unless you cause a ruckus in there. So do mind your manners and welcome it inside, I suppose.
To the DM, were we furnished with the command word to turn off all the traps, or were we expected this guy to do it for us and it just lasts an hour?
He does it for you, technically. He allows you guys inside. He does give you the phrase word. Well, no, the matriarch gave you the phrase word. He doesn't expect you to have the phrase word, but you have it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, my hubris really wants me to say it, but
you are allowed in, and no wards activate as he allowed you to magically enter inside. He does state, watch your steps and do be careful. And after that, ignores you.
Which way to Grump's tower?
You don't know.
No, I asked him.
Further up. I
Further
have to
up,
allow you in,
You're
but I don't
directed
have
here
to
by a matriarch of the drow.
assist you.
Sure. No, we wouldn't possibly report back to the matriarch of the Banray family on what our major impediments and how the disposition of the people of Sorcery were towards agents acting out of her orders. That would be a crazy thing to do.
It is your word. Your word of an outsider versus mine. You can be high and mighty all you want, but you're still an outsider. I'm sure someone in the building can assist you.
Yeah. May the Queen of Chaos have her gaze on you always.
That's a new one. Lord be praised. And then goes back to reading his book. Do you find for help inside? Because he's clearly not going to help you after giving him attitude.
Really?
He you might have if you didn't give him attitude, but you immediately gave him attitude, so he's not going to be
I'll
useful
just
to you.
kind of. I don't know what anybody else is gonna do, but Gothos would
That
probably
kind of
kind
thing would have
of.
gotten me thrown out.
Yeah, you didn't have the papers. Also, males, not females.
Uh-huh.
Gothos would kind of clap his hands and be like, "All right, so since we don't have any particular direction, and we've definitely been given run of the place by a drow matron, poke around at everything, huh? Why don't we?"
Yeah, everyone go ahead and roll perception checks.
Sure. I give
I'm
out
disappointed.
inspiration to anybody who actually says they want some.
I mean, it probably. What was it? Insight, you say? I'm bad at that. Maybe somebody who has a better one.
It's
Was it
perception.
Gets the
insight,
info.
perception, or investigation?
Perception. Sorry.
Perception.
Feel terrible.
I'm not good at that.
I thought he said perception.
Never
I
mind.
did. Why are people
When the
lying for
DM
me?
starts questioning.
I get to re-roll that. Hold on a second.
Freaking broken halfling ability.
I'll take the.
Oh, 2 natural 20s. Kobo and Gothos high five. No.
Yeah.
Brock, you find a slave currently, not shackled down, but collared up. That does state to you that she is curious to see inside Grump's sanctum and would allow, and if allowed to assist you, would take you there. Toulouse, you don't really find anything other than the staircase that, he did say further up, so that's definitely somewhere you can go. Boom, Gothos, and Kobo, you find like a very detailed map of the area on the long side of the east wall that basically details the tower structure and quizzically where the building is. Well, the sanctum is. Like you have, if you know the undercommon language and can read it, you know exactly where it is.
Just gonna look over their shoulder at the drow guy who wouldn't provide directions.
Yeah,
I
you have
can read.
options. Toulouse found the stairs. Thomas found someone that can guide you there, and you guys found the map.
We found the map, and we're totally willing to just go there. But if a slave, if you slave buddy wants to come in and look at the secrets of the drow, I got no problem with that. Hell, bring them all.
Yeah, from what you can tell, it's a very beautiful elven woman. If you had to guess, it's weird, but not that weird because obviously the drow would want to imprison or shackle someone of that quality. You can clearly tell it's a half elven woman at first glance. So not full elf, but it'll do.
I can only
1
imagine
point a
that the
year.
drow take specific and perverse pleasure in enslaving the elven race who banished them to the Underdark.
Yeah. She does state, okay, I can lead you there, but I'm not exactly sure what lies in wait. I do know that he does, while you're walking up there, guard his sanctum from people in the area. So you must look for traps. I cannot urge this strongly enough. I do know that he does cast them before and after he enters inside. And he hasn't been here for the last couple of months, I think. According to what I've been told, he's looking for something. But his trap should still be active.
All right, Toulouse, you want to take the lead?
Yeah, I could check for traps.
Some of them are magical.
Yeah.
And unless you know the command words, they won't turn off unless you destroy them.
Okay, quick point of contention here. Is this considered within the city in terms of thou shalt not mention any other god than the Spider Queen?
More or less. You don't have to if you don't want to, but there are spiders here and there, but not as many as, outside in the streets.
I'd like to bank on the idea that we have the sanction of a matron of quite possibly the most powerful house in Menza Baranzan. But I also don't want to give anybody any excuses to straight up murder us. Does anybody else have any magical ability? I don't really want to call on my paranatural abilities without absolute need.
You can also just try to pick the lock. Like, there are a few ways that Toulouse specifically knows how to do it. He does know that picking a lock would be beneficial. Perhaps the
I was
knock
just
spell.
talking about seeing magical traps as
Oh.
opposed to non-magical abilities.
Oh, yeah. That's also true.
Well, I could take 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic, if that helps.
It really does.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and pop down and start going through the ritual. So
10 minutes later. Before Toulouse
There are
can...
more slaves around us being like, are you going to Grunt's room?
Yeah.
No.
No, just that one. There are a few people here and there that are like, from time to time, come through. But honestly, it does tell me if you find this individual, you basically bypass some other things. So you see
Some
like
other horrible traps.
You see like some drow mages you could have come across, some giant spiders. On Tentacle, invisible Quisette, but you never found them. And they're also invisible.
At this point, if I'm not riding Tannhauser, I'll probably dispel her. Just to prevent the corruptive influence.
I will tell you at this point, that's probably a good call. They've been here for more than 24 hours. For sure something would have happened.
Yeah.
You look at the magic within the spectrum of the area, and you can tell that for sure it is enchanted with magic. The door itself is not, but the lining wall beyond the door is. Well, the lining floor beyond the wall is. You can tell that there is an enchantment known as Continual Flame in the area that will activate as soon as someone goes through it. That will likely summon something. Further beyond that area, there are forms of what appears to be stone shaped in what appears to be a humanoid form that will likely come alive if something triggers them. These are the current things you take note of, as well as, some sigils that will likely hit you with magic if, you pass them across them.
You didn't even have to roll for that.
Those will just be dex checks, but the first two things that I mentioned are the likely most dangerous things.
Alright, anybody ideas on magical disarmament?
You can also tell that opening the door requires just standard things if you want to do them. Either busting it open with strength or dexterity, magic hands. But beyond that, dispelling the magic would be beneficial. But, doing it now could also be beneficial if you have dispel magic or something of the sort.
Well, I can, in fact, cast Dispel Magic.
That will for sure cover the continual flame in the area, the first area you see.
That does seem to be the most tricky thing. I mean, well, I'd rather not have to fight golems. That does seem like a more straightforward thing than worrying about a mystery summon.
If at all possible, I think we should counter mundane magic or mundane locks with mundane solutions and magical locks with magical solutions.
Yeah, I will state though that the flames will summon something. That's the thing you're trying to get rid of first. Or at least the first thing you can actually get rid of.
Just out of curiosity, you did say continual flame, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we have to worry about that one. It doesn't cause any heat or suck oxygen or anything like that. It just looks pretty.
I also did state that it's enchanted with the thing that will summon something.
Yeah, the magic folk just says it's a continual flame in terms of like an elemental, perhaps. I mean, there's golems. The
golems are in a
stone,
further room.
right? Okay. Well, we do know about that. The matron told us about it. I assume this guy's good at elemental magic then, so it's probably stone elementals, quote unquote golems, and fire elementals, or something similar.
You were warned. That's probably a good judgment call.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Well, should I go ahead and dispel the summoning trap then?
Yeah, dispel the flames if you can with Toulouse to open the door regular. If nobody else minds, I'll be first through.
In the
So,
area
I'll
that you
cast-
can. Good.
Yeah, I'll cast Dispel Magic on the continual flames.
Yeah, in the area you can, which is the first room before opening the door, you cast the Dispel Magic, causing it to circulate within the walls. One by one, the continual flame spell that activates the rest of the enchantment is snuffed out, which, gets rid of the first problem ailing you, other than the closed door. But it should be good to go.
Mhm.
All right, can we get Toulouse to open the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thieves' tools.
It's up to him, and he chose yes. Yeah, go ahead and roll for me a lockpicking check / thieves tools.
These tools, a stolen set of
Is that a
wrenches.
nat 20? Is that our third? Look at those
Yeah.
nat 20s, man.
I like how 2 of those were just to locate a map.
Right?
You easily
That's the way.
open. Honestly, this was a tough check of 23. So natural 20.
All right.
It's very good.
Hot diggity.
Nice.
You begin to work with the system, and eventually you open it without honestly a care in the world. Looking inside, you can tell that there are candles floating in the air, emitting light within the area, but no longer a spell of, if you had to guess, summon fire elemental arrives or erupts. Because of your passive perception, and honestly, because of your high thieves tool check, you can tell that there is a secret trap door hidden alongside the passageway, somewhere in the room. With
Ooh.
like that, you honestly get
I
that
love
with your passive perception check, anyways, because that is quite tall. But you can also tell that there's another room adjacent to this area that has not exactly a trap on it. It is basically an open door system that you see a desk on, and the desk itself seems like if you tamper with it, there's a trap on it to activate the stone, the statues to the left and right of it. So you probably don't want to mess with that unless you dispel it or something of that sort.
Okay, so we're in the room. The fire elemental thing is turned off, and Toulouse sees several a trapdoor and a trap on the desk.
Yeah, basically, room, door you just came through, open door passage, and then room with desk, and then hidden compartment here. I don't know if you saw that because it doesn't show on my end.
Yeah. I saw it. So there's a secret room. There's a secret room or a secret compartment?
It says on my notes, trap secret door.
Trap secret door. Oh, like the door that we would fall through if we stepped on it. I gotcha.
Potentially, yeah.
A door or a room is just a large compartment.
Okay.
Well, nobody'd ever expect us to deliberately end up on the inside of a cell of some sort. Is a perfect way to
Toulouse,
infiltrate.
take over. Toulouse, what do we do?
Can you
I
disarm
tell
the
everybody
trapdoor?
about everything I saw, yeah. Like, don't step there unless you want to follow through that.
See, we could have thrown your slave on there.
Maybe if I use Mage Hand, I can just like push down and pop the trapdoor, and we can look down and see what's at the bottom of the.
I like how you tell people, hey, there's a trap here. What if we spring it?
Yeah, we should use Dispel Magic at least on
Well, the
Is that
lizard
what
hide.
bones are used for?
It's the fatty tallow of the warm-blooded species that get turned into candles.
Like, for sure, because Toulouse rode so well, he knows where the traps are. Unless you decide to activate them, which is the desk and the trap door, you should be
So
fine to
this-
investigate.
So the trap door that Toulouse sees is a trap door. It's not like a
Like-
secret
Like a hatch or
vault anything.
something.
Any party
Yeah.
member with a
I
passive
already-
wisdom score of 20 or higher notices a secret door in the wall, while a character searching for the room's secret doors must succeed a DC 15 wisdom perception check to find it. Like, Toulouse gets this no matter what, which is why I'm reading
Okay, so
this
it's in the
verbatim.
wall. It's not something we step on and fall through. It's literally a secret door in the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I think we need to open that.
Yeah, but we need to dispel the magic trap on it first.
I think Boom already dispelled the fire trap. Is there a
The con-
Toulouse,
continual
do you think
flame.
is there a separate trap?
That's what I've been. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to.
that's what
Go
I
ahead and fire up.
understood, at
Magic
least.
again.
Let me go and fire up Detect Magic again, just to make sure what I'm dealing with here.
Detect magic lasts for
Yeah,
like
it
at
lasts for
least
like
10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Having it still on, you can tell that the desk is trapped with some type of inlane magic, that if you mess with it, it'll activate the statue to the side of it, and will probably be attacked by it. The trap door that Toulouse could easily see because of their high perception check, passive, is likely trapped, and it has a weird, vacuous feeling to it, as if it'll take you to
Ooh.
some different dimension of some sort. The only way I'm describing it is because I'm not sure what spell class this would give you, other than just enchantment, but I want to give you a little bit more, because you've been doing good. Basically, it's a spell that'll take you somewhere else if you mess with it. And it does seem quite high level, so unless you cast something at a very high level to dispel it, it really won't go away. And I will tell you immediately, because, you're using magic, and in my notes it tells you specifically, a dispel magic would not get rid of it.
You'd have to jack dispel like crazy, or it's just not going to do it at all.
Oh, so dispel magic doesn't work. Okay.
Okay.
That's just on the trap door.
From what you can read, yeah, it's just on the trapdoor. From what you can understand by your magic, if you go into this weird vacuous space and you cast a very high level spell, you would basically be rebuffed out back into the sanctum.
Like that's our best case scenario, is to not get sucked in.
But it specifically
Well,
does
the-
state back into the inner sanctum. Whatever that means to you.
Well, should we go ahead and just get the desk disarmed so we can mess with that?
Yeah.
All right,
The inner sanctum sounds like
Yeah.
some hidden place
Okay.
he likes to go.
Toulouse, what can you tell us about this desk?
Can I use my mage hand or can I use my thief tools again?
Agma,
Yeah.
what can
I
you
wanna
tell
use-
me about the statue?
I
Sorry,
told
we
everybody
ignoring
about the
Toulouse?
statues.
I think I already told you guys. A 7-foot tall obsidian statue of 4-armed sword wielding drow warrior stands behind the desk, amongst one wall. With the magic cast and things you know, this is likely a stone golem that will awaken if you mess with the desk beforehand, without
Question.
disarming it.
Can I remove the swords from the statue?
Theoretically, no, because they would be like crafted into the statue itself.
yeah.
Okay.
You could
Uh,
break the swords.
That's true.
That's not realistic. Whoever makes a statue out of a solid block of stone.
Well, it's not stone, it's obsidian.
Close enough. Wait a minute. It's made out of a
Yeah,
game
obsidian.
developer?
Sorry, let's get back to Toulouse.
I'm gonna
am I
pull up my
okay?
stone tools.
Okay.
My stone carver's tools. And I'm
You
gonna
okay?
chisel off its kneecaps.
Rex, I see you doing a thing that's just right before that. That's also
Can
see
I-
what Toulouse is doing.
Can I try to disarm it with my thieves tools?
Yeah, go ahead and roll thieves tools. While Gothos gives you backup because he does not want to accidentally have one of your team members activate a trap.
And can I strip the golem of his kneecaps?
We will do Thieves'
Well,
Tools
actually-
first and then kneecap a man.
As I see Brack pulling out tools to do that, I'm going to mention the whole. Sure, that's a good idea.
what
there are
is-
too many.
He has tools
Sorry,
to
what
do
is-
it. It's just Toulouse needs to disarm it before it activates.
What
Yeah,
does
that's
Gothos
kind of my point.
assistance
So-
give
science-
to Toulouse?
Because Toulouse, he, spoke first. He obviously does the thing he spoke with first. It's just Thomas was louder.
Mhm.
Alright.
No, it's not good.
You just said that Gothos gives some assistance. I don't know what that does mechanically.
Mechanically, you're just buying Toulouse time so she can. So he can get to work.
And I'm going to tell Brack that, touching the statue with tools might actually trigger it prematurely.
Honestly, Toulouse, you're on fire today. He immediately gets to work with the desk, making sure that things get disarmed as soon as possible. The stone golem activation key is basically inert as soon as, Brack probably doesn't listen to you and swings with his hammer in to the statue.
Like, don't touch anything. I'm gonna disarm this.
You disarm it, and Brack basically goes, "Okay, now," and then smashes in. You just smash into the statue, no longer a potential activated golem, and it keels over at the knee, and breaks off.
Okay, if it ever comes alive, it will not be going anywhere fast.
Bract, as a practitioner of the old ways, does a bunch of obsidian shards just fill you with avarice? We're like, this is great tools. I want all the obsidian. I could make arrowheads with this. I could make axes. I could supply the whole tribe for years.
I heard a rumor once that obsidian is very good against undead.
Yes, is what Antidote just stated.
Yeah,
Quite honestly.
slashing damage, of course.
That being said, though, should we look around, other than maybe the trap door on the wall?
Yeah, let's see what's in that desk, huh?
Yeah.
All right. You spend your time because you're allowed in here currently. The slave woman that you're also with also helps you out because she wanted to do this to begin with. You see a collection of
that's
rare
a bit of
books. You keep an eye on her. It's perfectly fine if you do. It'd be weird not to.
Oh no, I was gonna encourage her.
Okay.
You
encourage her.
conspiratorially, it'd be like, hey,
Uh,
look, just show us any of the fancy secret stuff. You
Yeah.
can keep the rest of it. I don't care about any of that.
You can tell that she doesn't have a collar because why would she? Because these type of drow in this specific area would obviously think themselves better and would easily kill
They're
her
just
if need be.
capable of casting command or whatever is needed.
You do see a collection of rare books, scrolls, and archmage things worth the value of 15,000 gold. Assuming
Archmage, as you said.
a collection of rare books and scrolls in the archmage's chamber. He is an archmage, the guy that used to be here. You pour over the collection, and you can tell. Does anyone pour through the collection, looks through and does
Sure.
that stuff?
Yeah.
I want you to go ahead
I
and
have
roll
to
for me
assume.
Arcana checks when you go through them.
I have advantage on this. Yay!
Gothos is, if he's going to do this, he's far more interested in any sort of robes or bones or icons.
Yeah, this is definitely up my alley for this.
And we
And
can
I
all
managed to
go
get the
through it.
worst roll.
Well, there's not a reason for everyone
For the
not
books,
to.
it would be Arcana.
Oh man, I wasn't paying attention. I picked the lock. Okay.
You got the team not dead. That's actually pretty good. most of you can turn.
Thanks
Well,
for not
Toulouse is
killing
straight up
us.
like everyone is just going through like books and shit, and Toulouse is running around the room like disarming traps as people
Yeah.
are like touching things. She's like, "Quit it!"
Coming over through the books,
Crazy.
you can determine that Grump's Grimoire is not among them. Also identified within the collection, most valuable tomes are worth around 1,000 gold pages each, outside of, the bones and jewels and things of that nature. However, one of these works seems to be trapped with a glyph of warding and triggers the third effect of Bestow Curse, but obviously because you made sure that you were fully aware of things and Toulouse untrap things, you don't activate that because it wouldn't make sense. You also can tell that an arcane lock is currently present on the desk. Toulouse begins to pick at it and unlocks it without too much of an issue. Opening it. When open, the drawers are empty, surprisingly enough. And, but Toulouse, knows this type of trick. He's been around the block, and you can tell that this is this type of spell known as a Leomon Secret Chest.
Ooh. Have a look. Ooh.
Technically, let's see here. This is basically a area that you could put things in and no one would be able to know it unless you fully are aware of the situation at hand. And, Toulouse, he's done some spy work and some wet work here and there, and he would have to look for research and that type of thing. So it makes sense that, he finds those things. Through it all, you do find a collective value of over 20,000 gold, which is still pretty good. And that's not including the tomes and books.
Nice.
You find a lot of money, but no
Suddenly
grimoire.
rich.
Let's leave the money.
No, sorry. Are we leaving? Wait, what do you mean money? Is it just stuff that's worth that, or is it straight up?
It's stuff that's worth that,
currency?
like books, scrolls, stuff like that.
Gothos would have no inkling of what's that worth, but any of you magically minded characters
It's
in Brack,
one-
I remind you, you wouldn't know anything about
That's why I
that
made you
either.
guys roll Arcana.
Oh, so Gothos does think that it's super valuable. Yeah, let's take it.
Yeah, apparently me and maybe we should
Explain to
just
me how
leave
this
those things where they are, and just
Explain to me how this isn't evidence.
The secret planar pocket, though, you can probably take because no one technically knows that's there. And it's at least a good 5,000 gold value.
Just take that. Put it in our back.
yoink.
Head Toulouse was like, no one has to know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The weird
Put
thing
it
is,
in my
though,
bag.
you don't find the grimoire here, which means the only thing left is that trapdoor. So maybe you were correct on messing with it.
All right, now that we've, it seems, team, that we've looted this room to the best of our abilities, which, by the way, great work, team. The best of your abilities is really quite good. It seems that this trapdoor that Toulouse has found is some sort of a displacement magic. And, well, the wizard Wafter is displaced from here. Unless anyone else has any better leads. Slave lady, we haven't asked your name, but also feel free to read all these books. Do you have any insight?
The woman known as Yule, because I just named her that, does state, I do know that some mages use demiplanes at times. Maybe this is one of those, but if you don't know how to get out or don't have the password to get out, you might need to cast a very powerful spell to mess with the magic enough.
Okay, let's take one little final look around the room and then all these fancy magical tomes for some sort of a command word to bring us back. Yule,
When you
again, if you could
say-
offer any insight, we would just be super glad to give you free reign of the Archmage's room for like as long as you want.
When you say demi-plane, you mean an actual different plane of existence?
Probably.
I might have a way to get us back. Well, actually, I have to ask first. I know you and Toulouse said you'd come from some weird Rick and Morty world. Are you from this plane of existence?
Who were you asking this?
I mean,
Toulouse
He's
and Douglas.
asking me.
Oh. No, they're from the, what's it called? Sword Coast. It's just, they started there.
we wouldn't know
So
it as
this-
a Rick and Morty world, but
We were in a
we were
weird
transported.
Okay.
Sorry, go to
But
Yeah,
this is
we're
your
just
plane
in
of
a weird-
existence right here.
Like,
And I don't know if there's any way that we could know it was a different plane of existence, or if it was, we were just
you know, you were randomly collected
teleportation.
and then put through something weird. This area and like when you were in the surface does feel like your world. You know you're back home. You have no idea
I
what's
don't know how
on this.
Toulouse feels about it, but as far as Gothos is concerned, like that's when he got his powers from the Mistress of Adventure and Chance. So he kind of considered it just kind of like some wacky trial by fire.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
The woman does state if you can get anyone in there out, I would suggest it. Otherwise, we would need to probably know Grump's keyword. Otherwise, there are some imprisonment spells that likely are on the other side.
Notepad full of passwords or something.
Everyone go ahead and roll investigation. He might have like a sticky note somewhere.
Inspiration for anyone who needs it. Well, somebody who needs it. I can throw one at a time.
Let's see.
I'm not going to get better than that. Can you hear us?
Yeah?
Yeah. Toulouse did 28, so I'm not even bothered rolling.
She can add the D6 to that. I did say inspiration for.
I'm pretty sure 28
Pick it.
does succeed. Toulouse, he doesn't seem to find anything, but you can tell that an identify spell would be able to get you the password. Surprisingly enough, this big secretive man doesn't keep his, computer password on a sticky note somewhere. So you would be able to know that the identify spell would be able to give you the password or get you the password.
Okay.
Boom. You up for that?
Yeah, I can go ahead and cast that.
You take your time to ritually cast it. You're allowed in here, so you honestly do have the time. And you haven't triggered any traps yet. I'm surprised you haven't fought anything.
Me too.
You cast a spell.
Kobo, roll initiative.
You cast a spell, and immediately you do know the word that needs to be spoken before you enter inside, or once you enter inside, known as Kales, which is trust, which is weird.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I missed the last little bit. Did anything for him?
I'm just saying that the word needed is the word trust in Undercommon, which is Kales, which is very weird to have that as your password.
It's not really a word used that much in Drow society, so I can understand why you could use it.
Yeah, but exact notion of not being used heavily would indicate that it is a very, very very good password in this culture. A very weird one to have. Nonetheless, though, you do know it, so you know you can
No
escape.
matter. Nice.
Well,
Nice.
that's the password.
Oh.
You do
What
know
was it
once
again?
entering
'Cause my memory's
inside,
bad.
you have to say the password, and you know when to leave. You have to say the password, then you know are thrown out.
Wow, it's got a bouncer built into it.
Yes. But specifically because you use the identify spell, it throws you out to the end. It doesn't mean like the end of the world or your death. It means like to the other side, but not back in this room, to the next adjacent area.
The other end.
Okay.
Throws you to right after the bosses win.
All right. So we're entering. You say the password and step through.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Everybody ready?
Yeah, fuck
Hello?
it. Let's not split the party. Everybody's going in, all or nothing.
That's kind
Hooah.
of what I thought.
Gothos and Kobo immediately throw everyone into the bus. Wow, it's
Do we
driving.
all
That's
have
just
to like?
true. We're like, whoa.
Do we all have to hold hands and think of the same destination?
Not this one. No one is getting displaced in this one.
No.
You say the word and immediately everyone gets thrown in because that's what you wanted. And
What could go wrong?
the circular chamber is you enter inside a demiplane intermit. Soon enough, you say the word and then you say the word again because you know that this interdimensional area is lit with various gemstones, but you do see that some of the gemstones have people inside, so you make sure not to touch them, or else you'll likely be imprisoned. But with the word said, you aren't underneath the imprisonment spell. You say the word again, and it shoots you out into what is known as the inner sanctum. This circular chamber is lit by magic candles, and floor is black stone, engraved and inlined with magical diagrams in silver and gold. A female drow stands in the center of one magical circle, hands resting on her hips. Behind her, shelves and cabinets hold ceramic pots, glass vials, and other arcane paraphernalia, while a tome bound in black leather lies open on a lectern. I don't know what that is, but I want to say lectern.
Lectern is like a podium.
Why wouldn't they just use podium?
When you a podium is like, it's the same thing. It's a different word for the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, but I never heard that word before. It's pages covered
lecterns, I guess, specifically has a book on it, where a podium you just stand behind.
Yeah, or a lectern probably has a room for a book, not necessarily also includes a book. Which makes sense. In spidery glyphs, the only exit appears to be an archway filled with black void, which is likely the way you get out.
Yeah, all right, I'll bite.
A drow lady?
Apparently, podium is actually typically used wrong. A podium is just a platform on a stage that people stand on.
There you go.
People use that word when they really mean a lectern.
Yeah, the more you know.
Learning. Yeah, all right. We'll hail the drow lady.
I see the trick. There are a lot of situations in which a lectern is on a podium.
There you
go. That makes sense. You say hi, hey, drow lady, and she does look towards you all. Greetings. I am known as Yalara, a drow priestess. I am currently bound inside this magic circle by the caster you know as Gromf.
Why has he bound you such?
I had failed to convince this man to not cast his spell. Unfortunately, he did not take too kind to this. And in the weakened state I was, he bound me in these magical shackles, as you would state. It would
Say,
be a pleasure if you release me, but you are here for a reason of your own. Perhaps I can assist you with this.
what would you do if we released you?
Simple enough. Seek revenge.
On who? In what specific form would that revenge take?
I'll let your mind decide that. You are aware of this culture.
Is there anything we would need to be aware of and as far as freeing you from this? Do you know if Gromp put any countermeasures in place to complicate efforts to free you?
This is their, how would one put it, sanctum sectorum. They would likely believe it to be the most safeguarded area around. If you do touch the dark void, it'll whisk you away back to the outer sanctum, which likely you came from. Not sure where you came from, to be perfectly honest. And so long as the circle is intact, I am bound to this ground. Simply unintacting it. I don't know how to say this without it being grammatically incorrect. Unintacting it would release me.
What purpose does your confinement serve to Gromp?
Currently,
Simply to
nothing. Before, keeping me from barring his spell activation.
You wish to prevent his, shall we say, grand summoning?
That was several months ago. I highly doubt he took his time.
Yeah, well, we complicated matters. Suffice it to say that he has another more powerful grand summoning in mind that involves the entirety of Menzoberranzan.
We don't think he's gotten that one off just yet. So he might still be able to stop that grand plan.
If you convince us that your release is amiable to our own goals.
I can perhaps tell you what I know upon release. Simple enough.
What house do you hail from?
And I take it you would be aware of the houses down here? And you wouldn't,
Heard of a few
but
of them.
Slash is also there.
Several.
And Slash does state, while they aren't aware of all of them, I do know some of them. And she does state, very well. I am one of the priestesses from house... well, she wouldn't say it this way. I am one of the priestesses that belonged to his house. After all, why would I be here if I did not?
Oh,
You speak of House Banner.
That is correct.
And would any of your sisters be upset if we were to release you from this bondage?
They believe, like many others, that Loth's will is the Drow's will. And the weak would need to be called.
Which would be you in this situation. You were bested by a man.
A lesser, yes.
so we release her. She's gonna have to be quiet and go on the DL in order to go do what she wants to do.
No, well,
That doesn't hurt.
I'll say this straight out loud. Well, not necessarily. She would have to prove that she could best the man who imprisoned her.
You can't tell she upset by that, but, that's probably what you meant to do.
Well, she was weakened in her state when she was bested, wasn't she?
That's what they said, yeah.
Well, I really
At what
don't
point did she
see.
wouldn't raise the alarm and everything until after she
Yeah.
does her revenge because she doesn't want to be seen.
I could not hear that at all, Gobo.
I'm sorry. My
Gobo,
point was,
Kobo. I'm melding her own name into mine.
that's okay. We switch them off all the time. We're gonna meld them together eventually. No, what I said was, she's gonna want to remain on the DL. She's gonna want to remain hidden and not out in the big public eye until after
Well,
she
until it-
meets him, because right now she's in a, I don't know, place of
dishonorable
shame.
state.
Yeah, so she's not going to be running out to tell the guards anything or be making it known that she's out. She's just going to very quietly go about her business, which doesn't hurt us and could possibly help, providing we make sure we get that book and she doesn't want it.
All right, Drow Matron. Well, not Matron. Drowess. We essentially understand that it's in your best interest to try and thwart Gromp's ideals. But it's also in your best interest to take sole credit for that. So I need you to explain to us how very specifically you're not going to screw us over, and how you alone can grant us advantage in thwarting these plans. What do you know that we need? You don't have to tell us specifics, but in terms of what you know, something that we don't know. Otherwise, why would we unleash your fury against, well, quite frankly, the world? We don't trust you, you don't trust us.
Simple enough. You are flying blindly into things, while I likely know a few things that you do not. I can assist you in these matters of your intellect upon release, but I'll let you know one thing as a olive branch. Groff's inability to harness the she doesn't, mispronounce this is just me. Ferzris is the likely cause of the ritual to fail when he tried to first summon the demon lords.
And you have insight as to how to...
Yeah, what is this Vezren thing?
You have heard of
You're
this
saying
beforehand.
he had it...
Like,
Go on.
Verizian did tell you about the Ferizrez, whatever it's called. Faerzress. He did
Yeah,
state that
that's
this is powerful energy within the Underdark, but it's very corrosive and corrupted towards magic when casting, and it could potentially cause wild magic to erupt. But it's very potent and powerful if, used properly. And judging by what she just stated, Gromf did not use it properly, and, his ritual failed.
So you're saying that he did not know how to understand how to... He did not understand how to harness this energy properly, and now he has learned from his mistakes, but you still know how to intervene in that harnessing of the power?
I do not know if he corrected his failures. After all, I've been here for months now. He has not returned. And you
We
also
will
remember the
free you.
matriarch did state that he hasn't been back in town for some time, or at least they haven't found him.
Yeah, they've been looking for him, so we know he's missing.
How about this? We will free you if you know how to, where he is and how to bring us there.
Or at least how to track him.
I have been down here for several months. I can assist with the tracking, but I do not have the whereabouts of the incompetent fool.
How exactly would you assist with the tracking? Do you understand the nature of this magical portal here? Or what are the means by which you would assist in tracking him?
Loth watches over all. And more than likely, she'll watch over. How would she say this? An incompetent asset of hers.
The Drow matriarch of House Banray has tasked us with this. Are you saying that your connection with Lolth would somehow afford you more guidance than it has her?
Take it however you may. But as I mentioned beforehand, this culture is one of mistrust. So I can understand your misgivings of my intent. But why would a priestess ask you for something if it didn't benefit her in turn?
Yeah,
Well,
no, I can actually fully understand how not summoning a bunch of fiendish demon lords into their city would benefit a Drow mate. That's like the one clear motivation that I really understand. Fiends bad. Having a fiend in your city bad. I can understand why the Drow matriarch wants to prevent that. I understand why you want to prevent that. I don't understand how you can help us.
as I mentioned beforehand, I have knowledge. I can offer it to you.
Can I
His-
insight that? Do I believe her?
You can roll insight, but from what you understand it, she basically states, I have knowledge that others don't. And you can also tell that Grom's sister, the matriarch of the family, has knowledge but doesn't have, all encompassing knowledge. If this woman was very close to Grom, she might have information, but that's not necessarily good information, or maybe not information you've already found.
Well, I'll roll the old insight to see what Gothos thinks.
And just to make sure I had this right, because I'm not sure I heard it right earlier.
Natural
Did we get
20!
Boom, go ahead.
Oh, did we get the impression that the person who sent us here wouldn't care if this person was never freed?
You got the impression of any potential risk factor to the name of her home or house. Better to have it destroyed than to potentially spread that word.
And the fact that a priestess of Lolth was bested by a male, that's bad for their reputation.
Gothos, you don't believe this woman whatsoever. You can understand that her words are justifiable. She does have information behind it. But from what you can tell, her body structure, her form, her sentence structure are all technically true, but they're all also lies. She will not tell you what she knows. In fact, by the way her body presents itself, she is almost in not a defensive stance, but an aggravated stance. Like the moment you free her, she's likely going to attack. Or I don't know, maybe break free and do whatever she will. You can tell that she's lying to a degree. She is telling you the truth. She does know a few things, but she's likely not going to help you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't buy it, sister, and I can't tell you how glad I am to talk to someone in your station that has absolutely no power to talk back to me. We're not going to let you out of here. You can tell us as much as you want about thwarting Gomp's plans, but the second you're out of here, you're going to try and tear my throat out. He smiles a big, toothy smile.
Do what you will. She honestly doesn't seem surprised by your remark. It's not as if she expected you to, but at the exact same time, kind of hoped that you did release her. In the end, Lolth will get what she wants. Chaos.
Yeah, and if she wants you rotting in a prison for the rest of your mortal days, that'll happen.
You've been here for 8 months. What did you I
And
don't see a
may-
poop bucket in there. Certain things
and
missing.
maybe even if it isn't Lolth, what Lolth wants for you to rot in this magical cage, I think I'd be happy to see that happen.
That, or your throat's getting cut out. One or the other. And, although non-tactfully saying this, Kobo, you are correct. Even a drow would have to consume something or, go to the bathroom. If you had to guess, this is someone in disguise that doesn't need to do that unless they want to.
So I'm thinking she's not even a real drow.
Probably like some sort of demon or summoning kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at is I think she's a summoned demon that he was using to squirrel information.
Maybe not that, but you can think that if you want. She more or less chastises you in the background. You can ignore it if you want.
Well, unless anybody wants to physically torture this thing for information, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Again, not a big fan of these flavors and tortures themselves.
To
But
do that, you
otherwise,
would
we
need
should
to
probably
go
just...
into the circle or break the circle. It like prevents her.
Yeah.
It's basically a wall of force.
Okay, well, it sounds like solitude and annoyance are the most of her tortures then. Shall we move on and completely ignore this impotent and ineffectual being?
Yeah, she chastises you in the background, and looking towards the area, you do find Grom's grimoire resting atop of the lecturer near the circle and bears the title Zwan ol Lel, the Book of the Eight in Elvish. It, scanning through it, it describes rituals for summoning and binding powerful demons. And based off of the circle, you look underneath, and in the book, that's probably it. It opens to a chapter that talks about the summoning of Demigorgon. The various arcane components and rituals items in the workroom are worth roughly 1,000 gold pieces total. A 6,000 gold piece diamond also sits on the stand atop a workbench. It contains any...
Nope. I reach over and everybody sees me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
More or
as
less,
he
like,
says-
Kobo grabs onto the diamond accidentally, and, like, flips it on the table. People, like, look towards him. He, like, still grabs for the diamond and, like, shows it to everyone.
How about-
Look what I found.
How many times have we told you not to grab random gems? They might be magic. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah. Immediately, you are imprisoned in the diamond.
So
Oh,
shall we
this is a
just leave him
prison.
here?
Okay.
What happens to Kobo?
If I'm reading this correctly, it contains any creature by the imprisonment spell. But I don't think that's what actually happens, because it says that guards a secret door in Grom's outer sanctum. I'm just gonna say you break him out.
It's just like planar swaps or something. We're like, God damn it.
I don't know if I ever mentioned it, because I don't really like how the PDF is written. It just sounds weird. He like gets stuck in it. You break it, dispelling it. I'm gonna say you ritually cast, even if you can't or can't. He gets out.
We just cracked the diamond open and we're like, that could have been a lot more valuable.
You now have 3,000 gold diamond worth.
Of dust.
What was
Yeah.
it like inside the geode?
Haunting.
What was...
You saw reflections of yourself over and over and over again. It felt as if your mind was cracking with the ever-presence of yourself and others around you. You felt haunting presences of voices in your mind, around you, over-enveloping to the point of near madness.
Yeah.
Kobo just like throws up.
Yeah, I just kind of 1,000-yard stare it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Gothos
Maybe if
will
you'd-
pick up, but Gothos will pick up the two different halves, because apparently that's the way you worded it. With he's got a pair of handcuffs, So he's gonna use those like tongs.
Yeah.
Just drop it into a bag of holding now that it's broken.
I'm gonna say after you broke
Just-
it, the magic is gone.
Better.
Just
But-
think,
I'm wrong
Kobo.
about that.
If you'd been sneakier about that, we'd have may never realized, and you could have been in there forever.
Is
Hey guys, look what I.
That
God
being
damn it.
said, though, you are more or less left with a quandary. If you honestly consider it a quandary, you have the grimoire and the information needed. And honestly, good job on you. I'm surprised you didn't fight anything. Based on the things you do have, you are given an ultimatum or choice. And that is placing Verizian's Dark Heart Talisman in Menzoberranzan. This damned the city, but it also has innocence inside. But at the exact same time, you'd be getting rid of a lot of bad things. Or in some other location. Either way, you are left with this choice. And, well, whether you do it or not,
Hey, sorry, what is the choice?
leaving inside the city
Dark Heart.
or placing it in a different location. You've been given the information that it can work anywhere else. It's just he wants it here to get rid of, these problematic people, as he puts it.
Sure.
But in,
When
worse
we
terms.
place the thing, what happens?
It's going to wipe out innocence and stuff, too.
It's gonna basically be a beacon to the demon lords to come into this area. Without any allegiances towards one another, they will basically kill each other or fight each other to the death.
So we
Oh,
can
so we're gonna have a
we can
kaiju
open a
battle.
portal, and then it's just like a cage fight.
You're
Like
not,
they're just like,
Yeah.
we're here on the main material plane.
you're not
We love
opening
this.
a portal.
That's what I would.
They're already here.
It's
You're making a beacon
It's
so they
gonna-
are all drawn here.
Oh, okay.
yeah, kind of
So
like Godzilla.
so
We're
the
gonna have,
beacon is
a-
like, oh, that's where the
It's
wedding
the ice
reception
cream
is.
truck jingle.
Yeah. And
it's-
by the information you've already been given, there is more than just those two that are forming that pact. So,
Yeah,
know,
there's at least
it's-
three that we know about.
there
We
are
know
more.
the
It's
two that
gonna
are
be-
forming the pact and the monkey guy. I think that's what we know about.
I did give subtle hints and things about other things that you could have found, but you never did. I will tell you there's a lot more.
Curse your subtlety. Yes.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a three-way kaiju battle leveling Dark Tokyo.
Well, we just heard it's gonna be more than three-way.
That being the case, though,
Uh,
if you do place it here, you're also putting a lot of innocent people in tow. And I'm talking about, the people they captured and things of that notion. But you can also
The
do it in a
slavery
different
slaves.
location. But at the exact same time, you wouldn't be doing anything to the people down here. You wouldn't be
Well, here's
saving anyone in the future.
my input on that. Yeah, and there's the point right there, is that innocents may die here if we place it here, but in war,
what
a lot of this
innocence?
time,
What
Huh?
innocence do you think survives in Menzoberranzan, the city of the Dark Elves?
Yes, that's my point. These people are kind of screwed regardless, and heck, the chaos may allow them an opportunity to escape. If not, they're not necessarily any worse off than before, and more importantly, if the destruction of the city stops the slave trade,
At
then
least
that
a
means
good amount of it.
well, that means a lot less people being preyed upon in the future.
That's my thoughts.
All depends on what you do. But we'll
We
truly
should-
decide
yeah.
this next time as we end the session for today.